Wanda is considered one of the most passionate and positive people you'll ever meet, both personally and professionally. Her inspirational mentoring, sales, and customer service training has dubbed her to be Wanda D. Hollis, the Motivational Queen. She launched Wanda D TV, a revolutionary online real estate talk show where local businesses and community leaders discuss their services, issues, and concerns. Wanda is passionate about helping people achieve their goals and dreams. She has gone on to pursue many passions, including her I Am Enough talk show, having a seat on the West Georgia Board of Realtors, author of inspirational and motivational books, and also a strong supporter of several nonprofit organizations within her community. Wanda believes that there's no such thing as bad decisions, only regrets of not making the right attempt. For speaking engagements or to book her for your next event or conference, please visit www.IamEnough365.com.
Go through with PTSD also, I'm ex-military, but I learned how to turn it into microphone techniques. So I'm gonna freestyle and then I'm gonna tell y'all a little something, because Wanda D told me to freestyle. Say, I am enough.
I am enough.
I am enough. Hard with the drums. I am enough.
I am enough.
I am enough.
I am enough.
I come from the boogie down, south side of town. MCs like me, we come incredible. See, I've been spending so much time in my head. Grab the microphone. Did you hear what I just said? I got skills, rocking on the mic. I pay bills all the time. Rapping on the beat with the rhyme. I'm coming off the top of my mind. I do this all the time. This is how I grind. I am enough.
I am enough.
Sing it. I am enough.
I am enough.
I am enough.
I am enough.
I am enough. Times right now totally rough. Every time I'm dealing with this stuff, I grab the microphone and I don't bluff. And when I hold the microphone, I'm like the bluff. Sit back and watch the crowd rock. I grab the microphone non-stop. Blast the microphone is, I got a bonus to grab this mic and do just what I like. Too much hesitation, I had to take a turn. Sit back, relax, so I can unwind. Messing with my mind. Now I gotta come out here and show this one time that I could unwind. Say a little stuff that was on my mind. And this is how we do. Are y'all with me? I'm with you too. Say I am enough.
I am enough.
Say I am enough.
I am enough.
Come on, times are tough and you know it's rough, but say I am enough.
I am enough.
Say I am enough.
I am enough.
I am enough.
I am enough.
I am enough. I'm from the Bronx, baby. Alright.
In the 8C.
I was just getting a little bit too geeked. So I started clapping my hands, right? Then I remembered that my mic was on. So I don't know if y'all heard that, but that was just me, doing my little thing. Welcome. This is day 2. Put up your deuces. Put up your deuces, everybody. You got to put your deuces up. This is day 2 of the I Am Enough International Summertime Virtual Book Fair. That's a lot. I know it is, but we got to give it up. I'm ringing bells over here. We did. This is the second day. The first day, they smashed it. If you didn't see the first day, you missed out. They showed up and they showed out. That's all I got to say. I'm Wanda D, the Motivational Queen, your accountability coach, helping you get it done. Yes, and I am the host of the I Am Enough talk show, coming to you live. So we're everywhere. Let me just do some housekeeping. Y'all say housekeeping. Housekeeping. First of all, I want to acknowledge some of our sponsors, 1044 Pro being one of them, and also Grady Baby Radio. We're broadcasting live on Grady Baby Radio, as well as Twitch. Wake Up Winning News, the Winning Evening News, the Wake Up Winning for Entrepreneurs, also inside of a couple other pages, including the I Am Enough talk show page here on Facebook and also YouTube. So if you're watching from YouTube, please hit that subscribe button ring that bell so you can get notification. Let me show you how to ring the bell. Got it? That's how you ring the bell. You ring the bell like that, and that's when you know we're live. You'll get notification. So I came on trying to come on a little bit early but I forget I have all this back work to do. The reason being because I want to give people a little time to get here. We're going to be going in rapid fire. I'm trying to calm down. Say calm down, Wanda, calm down. I can't, so don't even ask me to, okay? It ain't going to happen. But I'm so excited because day one was amazing. And I thought I shared a funny story with y'all, right? So after the part one session, we go from, I'm supposed to be doing housekeeping, right? Okay, let me back it up. Back it up. Okay. Housekeeping. Put your phones on mute. Turn off your ringers. Tell your people that you on live. Tell your friends, call your friends, your foes, and everybody, and ask them to come on over to the I Am Enough Talk Show here on Facebook, or go check out our website, IamEnough365.com. That's where you can watch us. Okay, so make sure you go ahead and invite your guests, tag some people, hashtag Wake Up Winning, hashtag I Am Enough, hashtag the book fair. I need to get the initials out for that because I know that name is just too long. So we got to break these initials down. I'll have it for you on part 2. Okay. So this is how this thing works. We come live between 12 and 3 Eastern Standard Time. Then we take a break and we come back with more yummy good authors from 7 to 9. That's how we doing it. If you go on the page, on the I Am Enough 365 page, that page has the entire calendar, which whenever you pop in there, you can see when we live and all this other kind of great stuff. But just come on, keep up, follow. Now, this is what I want you to pay attention to. When these authors come to you, be astute, listen, because you might learn something. And then their information will be scrolling below. Take notes, take their information down and connect with them. This first author that I'm bringing up to y'all, she bad, y'all. She helped y'all get the money in y'all bank accounts. She helped these businesses get funded. So you need to tell all your friends that's trying to get some money that they need to come on in here and watch this. But if you're not able to make it, you can buy her book. You can book her for an appointment. You can ask her to come speak at your next event. She is the money magnet. So just sit on down, put your seatbelt on, because we're going for a long ride and it's going to be really, really fun. So that's what I need you to do. So make sure that you also do this, that you tell me where you're tuning in from. So if you're watching from wherever you are in the world, just put your name down. If you can't stay the whole time, I understand, because people got stuff to do. You might not want to hang out with me all day. I understand that. That's fine. But just drop in and say, hey, I was here. Because what I'm asking my authors to do is to go back and pay attention to the news feeds, so then they can reach out to you and make the necessary connections. If it's no more than say, thank you for coming in, thank you for checking me out. It gets really busy. So sometimes I'm not able to keep up with the comments. That's why you need to just make your comment be known. And when we come double back around to it, we'll reach out to you and you can come on in and figure out the information that you need to learn. Also, I want you to follow us on Instagram. We're on Instagram, I Am Enough Talk Show on Instagram. And also, like I said before, we're on Facebook, the I Am Enough Talk Show Facebook page. So this has been really exciting. Now, this is the funny thing that I want to tell y'all. So the first half yesterday was so I don't know. I was just going through it. It was just so overwhelming. It was just good stuff after another good stuff. And I was sitting up at the computer and I called myself, was trying to type an email, right? I was trying to type an email and I messed around and fell asleep. Slapped asleep in the middle of typing. And I jumped up like, oh my God, I missed the 7 o'clock. I mean, I thought I had missed the whole day. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. Had that ever happened to you? I jumped up and I was like, oh my goodness, I missed the whole day. Is it morning time? Because, at 7 o'clock it started to get, I didn't know whether it's morning, early morning time or late night time. But y'all ain't gonna do that to me today. I am not falling asleep. When this is over at 12 o'clock, at 3 o'clock, I'm backing away. I ain't doing nothing. So don't ask me for nothing. Just come and see me again at 7. Okay. Now that's my promise to you. So without further ado, I'm going to bring up our very first author. She's hanging back in the green room. Hopefully she's not eating up all the snacks, because there's going to be a whole bunch of other guests come through, and she's going to have to save some of these snacks for the rest of the guests. But anyway, let's see if she's there. Ding dong. I have to ring my bell. That's my bell to let her know I'm coming. I'm here.
Well, hello. And I must say, you have great snacks.
Did you eat all them snacks up?
No. I left a few, but you might have to go get some more.
Okay, well, it's gonna be shame on them, because I'm not doing anything with that back room, with that green room, until 7 o'clock. That's the only time it get refilled from one set to the next set. How you doing, beautiful? How you doing, Queen?
Wonderful. How are you doing?
Man,
oh my goodness, you are just bubbly, girl. You on fire.
On fire. I gotta be on fire. You know that my mama told me. No, this was my granddaddy. My granddaddy told me, if you're going to do some things, you're going to do it. And if you ain't going to do it, then you leave it alone. So that was my lesson. That was my lesson. Well, Miss Yvonne, I'm going to move out of the way. I'm going to let you just introduce yourself, and I'm going to come back in here and we're going to chop it up. And also we're going to let them know a little bit else what you got brewing in the pot outside of this wonderful book.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. All right. Well, hello there, everyone. Just so glad to be here. I'm Yvonne Gamble, and I am the author of Financing Your Next Billion. And just wanted to, share a little bit of myself with you, just kind of like how I came about this writing. Now, I started out in the multi-million-dollar banking industry, where our depositors had to have $1 million in order to deposit, at our level. And as I went through the years, I saw a lot of people out there who really were not coming into the bank and putting their $1 million in, and nor were they able to actually access what these particular clientele were able to access. And of course, they were high-end captains of industries, they were governments, that sort of thing. So what I wanted to do was I put together my own company, Sanpete Financial Group, and we're venture capitalists, and we do funding from $25 million and up, our guaranteed investment program. And then we have our small end for startups, which is about $250,000 up to about $20 million. So we have those programs. But what we find is the landscape has changed. It has changed tremendously. Investors are now your next door neighbor. They may be the investors. Investors are coming in the way of crowdfunding. And so therefore, when you are approaching them, the process has changed and you have to change with it. But if you didn't know what the process was yesterday, you're not going to know what we're doing today. And tomorrow you will just be simply shut out from access to capital. That's where we come in. And that's where Financing Your Next Billion comes in. And I even have a masterclass, and we'll be going into that when Wanda circles back and she's talking to us. We'll talk about the masterclass a little bit more in detail.
That is amazing. I'm sorry, Queen. Did I cut you off?
Oh, no. We were just enjoying, just a moment, just giving them some little tidbits. And I figured, we would just kind of, chop it up here. You are the motivational queen. You're the one that really sets people on task. And that's why, I am just so happy and so thankful to work on this virtual book fair with you. I love it.
Well, I wouldn't have it any other way. Just knowing you've always been a blessing. So professional, so just in tune with what you're doing. I love the fact that you have your own business, you're making it happen. And the book is just a small part of everything that you have going on and how you're adding so much value to our community, to this planet, really, because people always look for resources, So tell us a little bit about you. Where are you from, and what drew you into that industry?
Well, believe it or not, I'm actually from a little small town in Michigan, here in the United States. The little small town is called Covert, Covert. Shout out to Covert.
Okay.
You know,
Shout out
go
to Culver.
Bulldogs.
Now you wait, hold on one second, Yvonne. I'm from Michigan too. Now,
Oh,
are
where?
you from Detroit?
Okay, well, if you took a pencil and put it
Okay.
on the map, people, she would be on one. She would be on the East Coast. I'd be on the West Coast. She'd be on Lake Erie. I'm on Lake Michigan.
Okay.
That's exact. And draw a straight line across,
Straight line
straight through
across.
there. Yeah,
Okay. Well, carry on, carry
yeah.
on.
So
Culver, Michigan in the house.
Michigan's in the house. Grew up on a 20-acre blueberry farm. Loved it. Loved
Woo.
what I did. Went to the big city of Chicago at 18, like most people do. Out looking for a job right after, high school, and actually got a little bit frustrated, because I was going to Michigan Avenue to all the different employment agencies, doing what I thought I was supposed to do, resume in hand, the blue suit, the pearls, the whole 9 yards.
Mm-hmm.
I got on July 18. I came home that evening. I got on my knees to go to bed. I prayed. I said, Lord, I want to work in an industry that touches people's lives from the time they're born to the time they die.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea what I was asking for. I had no idea what I was praying for. I went to bed. I got up the next morning, and many of your people don't date me, but I picked up the Yellow Pages. It's that big yellow book. Okay. And
Don't mess with that
all,
big yellow book.
that big yellow book. And all of the businesses and everything. I opened that yellow book up. I got dressed first. I was all ready to go. Opened that book up. The first advertisement in there was this big eagle on the page. And it said, American National Bank, we're the bank for business. We open at 8 a.m. We close at 5 p.m. I waited until 8 o'clock. I called the director. It had in there the Human Resources Department.
Mm-hmm.
That used to be, and everything was right there. Those were the websites of yesterday. So I called, went down, and the rest is history. He took me in, put me right into the position that I just shared with your audience, letting them know I went into the $1 million banking division. And in there, we only handled accounts where that part of the bank, they had their own special elevator to go upstairs, own special elevator to come downstairs.
Wow.
Private banking, $1 million or higher into this. So I dealt with all of the high end, people in the city of Chicago, around the United States, and international clientele as well. So, having that type of, experience behind me in just those number of years, it would go to guess that, between then and now, because that was 76, I did several other businesses, and it really broadened my horizons and my learning. I studied journalism at Columbia University in Chicago, and did a lot of writing, a lot of work, and worked in. And you can't come through Chicago without getting into the political scene. So yes, I cut my eye teeth on the whole political scene in Chicago, and actually got to Georgia. I came here from San Francisco. Actually, I had lived out there for a while, but when I came here to Georgia, I was coming here to be the Get Out the Vote chair for the state of Georgia on the Hillary campaign.
Okay.
I got here. Georgia was beautiful. I loved it. I loved the people, and so I stayed. And so and made this. I said this is it. I think this is the last stop on the train. I'll put my roots down here. It reminds me a lot of all the places that I have been around the United States and outside of the country and lived.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, really, that's a little bit, about, that's a capsule view of me and where I kind of hailed from.
Right. And what, and I know you've been everywhere. I mean, you everywhere. And at what point, you said you had several businesses. When did you start this last business that you're in now?
The last business now with the Sanpete, with the venture capital, actually, I actually started out doing accounting.
Okay.
Right. So because I was in the financial part, of the banking industry, it basically was just a natural that I would, stay into those different areas. And so I started out, and I kept a personal group of people that I did their business accounting for. And even as I went into telecommunications, I wanted to understand our communications, in the country. I went into, advertising and marketing, and all of that, kind of spurned out, being at Columbia, those are the types of areas, that you kind of are pretty much put into when you're interning and work, what have you. But my love of financing, I am, what I had to come to the realization, I think a lot of people do when they're going through their life work. We always tend to remember, I said a prayer of what I wanted to do. And then banking was what came in front of me, banking and
Right.
numbers and financing. And
Right.
that could have been, most anything that touches a person's life from the time, they're born to the time they die. But
Right.
what came to me was what came through me, was what I was. And
Mhm.
so no matter what industry I went into, I flourished in those industries, didn't have, problems in there, had a regulatory business when they did all the number pooling and all of that, had a very good lucrative regulatory business, working with high end clientele, AT&T and T and MCI, and all those, the mergers. I was working with Comcast and all of those before they even became when they were too small to even come to the table to negotiate for themselves. Our
Right.
company represented them, at the negotiations. So, just being, having been around with these companies, I stayed in that area, but I always somehow, Wanda, always came back to finance. Always came
Finance.
back to math, to financing, to business financing. I was always maintain a certain number of clients that I would consult with. And
Mhm.
and even my clients would say, "Well, when are you going to go into this as a business? When are you going to go into this, as just a business, and just leave it at that?"
And that's what
And
led
I
you to
always,
it.
everybody wants to be that dancer on the stage. Everybody wants to be, that everyone, we see ourselves, doing these things. But,
Right.
but reality sets in, when the curtain call comes down and you're not standing there, reality sets in and says, no, you're the one you do the numbers. You're the
That's
numbers
right.
person.
That's what you're supposed to do. So
So
tell me this: what led you to write this particular book, and who is this book for?
for what led
Yeah.
me to write, believe it or not, what led me to write this book was written out of frustration. And I'm saying that, and I'm looking directly at those clients who knew they were frustrating me. I wrote this book, Financing Your Next Billion, because this actually was a collection of the information that I would give to my clients as they would come in. They would come in to me with these template style business plans, financials that looked like they had copied from somebody else, and it was a mess. And I even had, for at the very onset, I tried to do, just, and I still do, we do, VC, doc preparation, but we do it at a much higher level. But doing all these things and preparing them, getting them prepared to actually even just have an interview, with the investor. It was,
Mhm.
document preparation was bad enough. Then you had to prepare them to go in front of the interview. Those interviews are very different. You're not going in and asking someone, give me a loan based on an asset, that you can actually attach a lien to. No, I'm coming in and asking you for, give me $25 million on this idea, or give me $1 billion on this idea that I have that I think will work. And that, I've got some people who have done this, but they haven't done it this far because we need the money in order to get us into it so we can even test it.
Right.
So therefore, that's a whole different conversation. And it's a whole different aura that you have to care, and a competence and a confidence that you have to exude when you are in front of that investor, asking them. Because the thing about it is, with an investment, remember this: with that investment, you are holding on to that money for at least a 3-year period before you even begin to pay back. And you
Mhm.
can make all type of lavish promises. I can give you 3x, 5x, 10x time what I borrowed from you. But this person is going to be without any income from that money, their hard earned money. Because if I turn around and I give you $100 million, well, you have to ask yourself, what did I do to actually amass that $100 million to the point that I could give that to someone?
Mm-hmm.
Because also there's a risk. That investor is taking 100% risk, because what happens if that business does not go well? That business fails. So all of these types of things kind of came together and culminated. And I simply, I guess what happened was I got tired of trying to tell them, this is what you need to do. And so I wrote the book, and I wrote the book, and I really didn't even, I wasn't even writing the book necessarily for the book even to be necessarily sold. I do more of the book as I give it away. I give it to organizations, and I give it to people who have banks, who have people coming in and they want to go into the high end lending area. Fine. I will send them 200 or 300 books. Please give this to people. Do not have them show up in front of someone who they want to get an investment from, and they don't even have their information, in the proper manner and in the proper way. They don't even know how to talk to these people, or really to understand. And to understand, you have to be humble. You have to be humble when you're going to someone and you're asking them. I'm asking you to give me your hard-earned money, your expertise, whatever that you have, and I'm asking you to entrust in me, and you don't even know me. Most of the times, the first time they've seen them is when they see that business plan or that pitch deck or that video, these sorts of things. That's the first time they see anything or get to know anything. And they have to understand. It's a relationship. We'll work with a client for a year, 12 months. The average time, if you're going for 25 million and plus, you're gonna figure you have to spend about a nice year. Expect to spend 12 to 18 months amassing, getting that type of money. And it's not the fact that the money is there day one. The money was there yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
But what you're trying,
you have to vet them out.
You have to develop that relationship. Mm-hmm. And that's why you see, so like I said, that's what actually bore out the book. And that's what actually the masterclass really goes in even deeper than where the book, has even gone into.
Now, if someone doesn't need, say, $25 million, does the book also serve them with, let's say, $250,000 or something?
If you're going to anyone and you're going to ask them for one thin dime, that book is going to serve you.
So that's what I want the viewers to understand, that even though, because we tend to get, and that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day, just getting over the point of asking for what we need and then asking for it in abundance, because a lot of times we go and we play it small. We like, oh, I'm just going to ask for a little bit. Well, this book will teach you just how to set up the ask in general. Is that correct?
It will tell you how to set up the ask. And, it focuses on the higher end, because it focuses on those people going for money for an investor. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't matter how much you're asking for from the investor. The process is still the same. If you're going to an investor and you only need $10,000 to do whatever you need to do, or you need $100 million to do what you need to do, the ask is still the same. The relationship still has to be the same. As a matter of fact, it even gets believe it or not, the lower the amount that you're asking for, the harder, the more you really have to prove yourself.
Yeah.
With the big, I know it's an odd thing, and that's something that we kind of explain in the book, and we go through in the masterclass to really get people to understand that it's far easier for you to go in, believe it or not, and ask for a larger amount than it is for you to come in and ask for a smaller amount. And I'll tell you why. The reason being is because of this. If all it's going to take you is, let's say, $10,000 to do what you want to do, and then you say to the person, I will pay you back 3 times or 5 times what I borrowed from you. Okay, you're going to pay me back $50,000, right? Mm-hmm. Well, I'm really curious to understand, how is $10,000 going to make you $50,000 that you're gonna pay me back and make a profit and be able to continue your business.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, because they more
these are
so
people,
worrying about you defaulting on that little bit of money.
right? And it's like you can't, and so this is the reason why most of your investors, they won't even, that'll be like angels or people, family, friends for the small. They'll tell you to go there and don't come to them because of the fact that these people, they've made the money. They know how money is made and they know how much money it takes to make money. So you can't go in there asking for a little bit, of money because it doesn't sound real. Doesn't sound like you know what you're doing.
Right. Doesn't sound realistic. So this is good stuff. If this is good stuff to y'all, I want y'all to put good stuff in the comment. Yvonne, before you get out of here, tell us about the master class and when is your next master class?
The master class is hosted, it's every month. And we have that's our general overview masterclass that you kind of come in through the basic one. And that's usually the 25th of the month. You go out to Financing Your Next Billion, go to Eventbrite and just type in Financing Your Next Billion and you'll see when the dates for that is coming up. And it's usually somewhere between the 24th and 25th, of every month that people sign up for that. And organizations that have several people that they actually want to come to the master class, I work with them as well to where all they have to do is actually purchase the book. And then if they want to charge a price for the master class, then we work it out so that we're partnering and then they share, they do profit sharing. So we JV and we host a class for them. And that way
that's wonderful.
Can use that as a financial build for them. And it's very good because especially when you're looking at financial organizations, I'll just say like American Express, Ameriprise, what have you, where they're dealing with a lot of people in the financial industry who are looking to invest, angel investors, they have organizational meetings all the time. And they want to make it available, to their groups or what have you. And then some people, they just, they have groups and clubs who want to understand and know this particular area better. And I'm always willing to sit down and talk with them. Don't let what you want to learn how to do. If you're going to be in a business, the main thing, your best skill is going to be your negotiation skill. That is, if I were to say, what is the one thing you have, and that's your negotiation skill.
That is so
Everything
true.
is negotiation. Don't, if I say, well, my class costs $1 billion, fine, come and talk to me. You may have something that I need, and you then offer that to me, or you have access. When I'm giving this away to these organizations, trust me, what am I getting in return? Well, guess what? I'm getting access to
their network.
I'm getting
their network. Yeah, that's right.
I don't need the money for that. I need if I get access to the Rolodex, one client out of there will pay 10 times or 100 times what I could have charged.
What you could have charged for the class. Exactly. Absolutely. I always said that I used this funny story. I used to go and help people do events and I basically they would hand over their Rolodex. And from there it became my Rolodex.
Exactly.
So it's contacts. Contacts are more valuable. Human resources are always more valuable than cash capital any day of the week because you never know what could lead you to the next person. This is what we've been asking, and I'm asking all of the people that's coming on to our author showcase, and thank you for kicking off day 2. Give her a bell, everybody. She kicked off day 2. And from a perspective of writing your book, and if there's someone sitting on the edge and not kind of knowing how to pull the trigger, what advice would you give them to help them pull that trigger in writing their book?
This is what I will tell you as a journalist. And I was the former managing editor for Trinity United Church of Christ in Chicago for the newspaper. And I will tell you the same thing I would tell my all of my staff writers. when they were writing a story. And that is edit it, put a period at the end of that sentence, and turn it in. That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
I don't
Edit
know
it,
who's taking notes.
spell check it, put a period at the end of the sentence, and get it out there.
And turn it
Because
in.
you know what? Let me tell you. What that will do for your spirit and your psyche. That's what you need. If you're sitting there holding that, that is not the book. That's not the content. One more paragraph, one more story, one more development of a character is not going to make that any better. You're done. Right. You're through. It's over. That's why you can't figure out what to say new about this character. You can't write another sentence. There is no another sentence to be right. Put a period at the end of that. Turn that, spell check it. Turn that book in, and then
be done.
You write the revision. Why do you think books have revisions? You write the revised version.
That's right. That's right.
And
okay, hold up now. Wait.
Now you don't have just one book. Now you got two books.
That's right. That's right. Okay, Yvonne, don't give them all of the secret sauce. All right, you're going too far. You're just going too far now. One last thing. I'm asking everybody for their power word, because see, you got Tiasha. She's gonna have to try to break down what your advice was, because this is this game we're playing. Every author is coming in, they're asking that question as well as their power word. At the end, people don't have to figure out who said that power word, who said that bit of advice. So we know that yours is put a period on the end and turn it into the editor. Spell check it and turn it in. That's what Tiasha got for you. Can we go with that? Spell check it and turn it in. That's it.
Just remember, put a period at the end of that sentence.
Put a period at the end of that sentence and turn it into the editor.
Yeah, that was exactly. Because think about it like this. I would tell my press writers, we got to go to press.
We gotta go.
We gotta go to press.
The time is up.
No more time. We gotta go to press.
That's right. And with that being said, what's your power word?
My power word is negotiation.
Woo! I love that word too. And I got a funny story, but Yvonne, we're gonna have to talk again. I'm probably going to try to arrange to get a group at that next session, because I'm doing some work with two organizations. One is the 80 Women of Power, and they're actually looking for someone to help in that area of finance. So just expect
I'm there. I'm your lady. I'm your expert. I'm your go-to. Say no more. Send me the date and the time.
We're having lunch. We're having lunch Sunday.
Okay.
I'm gonna send you the information, and I'll see you.
I'll be there
on Sunday. I love you. So, guys, this has been our first author. Her book is Financing Your Next Billion. You can get it on Amazon. There's a link scrolling behind. Please sign up for her class. If you have big goals, big ideas, big dreams, and even though I would say just go to the class to get inspired. Sometimes you just need to do something to get inspired to do something, because a lot of times we think too small and we're thinking inside of the box, and just getting around different people will inspire you, will get you out of the box. You never know what your $1 million idea could turn into. You just never know. So she tell them, Yvonne, you say you're the go-to person.
I am the go-to person. I am the go-to person. You want to get finance, you want to know how to do it, you come to me.
Come to her.
And I will do it. Come to SandpeteFinancialGroup.com. Everything you need to know, everything you want to know, we will help you to get there. We will prepare you. And we have the funding and the financing, and we have several different vehicles. Don't sit there and try to determine what we have, what we don't have, or what you can do, what you don't do. Just talk it out. Sit at the table. Let's do some horse trading. We get your negotiation skills up, because the more you negotiate, the better for us.
Absolutely. Well, Yvonne, thank you so much. Love you bunches, and I will see you real soon. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. So are y'all excited? Say put some bells down, ring some streamers, do something, because it is going to be rapid fire from here on out. I am over the moon excited, and this is what it takes. You just never know who you're going to meet. Every opportunity is an opportunity to network. And Yvonne, you can hang out with us as long as you can, but if you have to go out, understand. We have two beautiful authors that's hanging out in the green room. Hopefully they're sharing snacks, because that's where it's at. And we have more people coming through. I'm excited because you're here. And if you're here for the first time, if this is your first time coming into the I Am Enough talk show, say first time, so then we all can give you some lots of love. They show out in the back room, in the chat box. Everybody knows each other, and they already know that we have to talk to each other. So they have to come in and say, hey, what up though? That's my saying, but they can say whatever they want to say. They can say, hey, shawty, whatever you want to say, just say what you need to say and let people know that you acknowledge them to this space. This is a safe space. And also share the information. If you are watching, please hit your share button and share it in as many groups as you can. Why? Because you never know how this information can bless someone else. You never know who is looking for this information. And trust me, you don't have to vet the information out. If it's under the brand I Am Enough Talk Show, it's guaranteed to be good information. And that's all I got to say about that. So without further ado, I'm bringing up my next author. Ding, 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 ding. There she is. Well, hello Queen. How are you today?
I'm feeling good. How are you?
You're feeling good. You're looking fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. This is Miss Lakeisha. I'm going to move out of your way so you can introduce yourself, and I'm going to come back on and we're going to talk about your book, and we're going to get to know you better. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Sounds good. It's here we go.
Hello, everyone. I'm probably familiar to some and new to others. I am Lakeisha Muhammad. There's so many things you can know about me, but I'm going to keep it simple for you today. I am a mom of 4, a wife. I do life coaching. I have a couple of different business projects. One of them would be CBD Wellness, if anyone knows about that. And I love to write. I am new to the platform today. I am humbly glad to be here just to share more with you guys. I'm sure this is going to get real interesting, but I came to just be authentic with you, enjoy, have some fun, some laughs, and answer all of Miss Wanda's questions. So I'm excited.
Well, that sounds like it was a segue for me to come on back. I'm ready for these questions. I read between the lines. So I'm so glad that you're here, Queen. This is my first time actually speaking to you. I've seen you out, and but this was our first time having this time to chat. So I'm really glad for this opportunity and looking forward to it. Plus, I want to just say thank you for being a part of the of our book fair, because I just love the title of your book, broken crayon steel color, and then it has a subtitle. What's that subtitle?
Life After.
Life After. You have your book. Hold up your book if you have it. There you go. It's such a beautiful book. And as you guys see, her information is scrolling below. So please follow her on Instagram. Check out her book, and also just any information. She's already told you she does life coaching. So that's her email. So if you're interested in getting more information about her life coaching or anything like that, that information is going to scroll while we're enjoying this conversation. So Queen, what was first of all, tell us a little bit about you. Where are you from?
I am from Massachusetts. I live in the state of Massachusetts.
Up top?
Yes.
And are you You were born there in Massachusetts?
I was born in Massachusetts, from the inner city. I kind of moved around a lot throughout the years, and
Okay.
then I moved back, and I'm kind of still on the outskirts, but it's good. It's good.
Okay. Family, children, married, not
I
married.
have 4 children. I
Okay.
have three daughters and a son, and my kids are grown. Um, One of my daughters is in the Navy right now. She's graduating from boot camp actually this week,
Mm,
so I'm really
okay.
proud of her. And I guess I don't really want to say five because then I also have my 8-year-old nephew too.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's a full-time job in itself. I am married. Um, Me and my husband been together almost 20 years.
Hmm.
So that's a journey itself, and we'll get
Absolutely.
into
That's
that.
another talk for another day, right?
And it's actually
In the
something I
book.
talk about in the book.
Okay, wonderful.
um,
So what
all my
led you to
family is
write the
here.
book? All your family is there in Massachusetts?
A lot of my family's here. I have family in Georgia. I have family everywhere. Like they're
Okay.
just spread out throughout the
Okay.
nation.
Okay. Well, a little bit about how was it growing up in Massachusetts?
Wow. Um, I grew up in the urban community in like your early late 70s, 80s. Probably giving away my age, but that's okay.
That's okay.
Um,
You are what you are.
um, you know, when you grow up in the inner city, it comes with its different challenges. You
Hmm.
know, Nothing's different now. I think now is just a little more, worse than it was back then. I think at that time you felt a little more safe, being outside, not a lot of, the shootings and things like that going on. But,
Hmm.
the typical struggles of, in the black family, you know what I mean? You come from, the home with, just a lot going on, a lot of dysfunction, a lot of the chaos, all these
Okay.
different, things going on, and you're just trying to figure out what is what from what. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, I mean, I wasn't the type of, child that really got into trouble. I was very
Hmm.
quiet and stayed, to myself for the most part. Yeah, I had a lot of friends, and after a while, you hang out and do different things. But for the most part, I was very quiet. You know,
Okay.
some people, I'm still like that a little bit today, but I'm older now, so that comes with a different, vibe to
A
it.
different vibe. So
Exactly.
what drew you to, because this book is an anthology, correct?
Yes, and it has multiple other authors in this book.
Right.
Um,
And how many other authors are involved in this
wow.
project?
Um, Probably about 20. I'm number 29 in this book, so
Okay.
maybe about 25 plus more authors.
Okay.
A lot of
Okay.
people came in on this project.
Great. So do you want to share with our viewers your story in the book? Do you want to talk about a little bit about that story and why did you write it, or how do you want
I
to
can. I can
yeah.
do that.
Okay.
Um, Broken Crayon Still Color. Actually, this book is head authored by one of my coaches, Stacy Bryant. Some people may be familiar with her. And as she put this project out there, it fit. It fit perfectly because when you think about broken crayons and you look at your
Mhm.
own life and you look at everything you've been through, you can say, I was broken, but you know what? I'm still coloring. And even if
Mhm.
I'm still broken now, I'm still coloring. My life didn't stop. My life hasn't stopped. It continues to go on. Um,
Absolutely.
but in this particular book, I felt like I wanted to share something more on the relationship side.
Okay.
Not, I don't want to tie it all into marriage, but relationship. Like, what does that look like? Because you have a lot of women out here who are single. Some of them come from abusive, you know, backgrounds or very traumatic experiences. Some are afraid and fearful of love or been hurt or broken, and they feel like there's not enough good men out here.
Mm-hmm.
They just feel like things are not happening for them. And then you have the other women who they're like, they are in relationships, they are married, and every relationship and every marriage does not look the same, and that's
Absolutely.
why I tell women, don't measure your relationship and your marriage according to somebody else's. You don't know what they go through. You don't know what they had to go through to get to where they are. You don't know any of that. You know what I mean? And just because somebody else stayed together a very long time doesn't represent the time frame that you and your partner, spouse, will be together. And then it's also to let women know that there are some, men that God sets up and they end up being not perfect, but they fit perfectly in your life for you.
That's
So
nice.
those are some of the things I talked about in this book, just to say, there was a time when I was like that. I wasn't thinking about marriage and all of those things, and what I did know about marriage at a much younger age, it didn't add up. It was what I wanted it to be in my own
It
mind.
was like your own personal fantasy of it.
Exactly.
So what's next after this book is out now? Now where are you going now? What are you moving beyond this book?
With Broken Crayon Still Color, there are a lot of events happening around it. A lot of
Mhm.
people are planning things out of state for book signings. There's been a few already. There's been some out in Georgia. Due to my schedule, I haven't been able to go to those,
Well,
but
you know
there are,
you got to come here. This
yes,
is where it's at. Now you
there
can't be
are,
staying wherever you can't be staying in Massachusetts. You got to get on over to Georgia.
oh no, Georgia is like a second home to me.
Okay.
I actually, before the pandemic, I would come to Georgia quite often. But
Mm-hmm.
as far as the book signings, yeah, they're happening, everywhere. Everyone is kind of just jumping into events now that everything is opening back up. I'm actually working on something now to do my own book signing with this book as well, um, which I can share more details with that coming down the line. And then I'm just still writing. When you become an author, you don't stop writing. There's more
Right.
parts to your journey, there's more parts to your story. So every book that I get to write, I'm just revealing more of my story, and who it relates to and who can relate to it. That's how we
Mm-hmm.
do the connections, and I don't write books just to also tell a story. It's also to leave gems and information to help people, you know. Um, that's something that I've learned. When you write books, it's better to write books that are informational, books that have, things in them that can, people can tap into,
Right.
kind of challenge the mind a little bit, and I like to keep everything kind of grounded around like coaching into my writing world as well. Because, even as I write, I'm challenging people to kind of go back into those deep reflection places that they don't want to go into. They kind of bypass it and you kind of ignore things.
Mm-hmm.
That's also how I look at, the writing portion. So as I wrote this part in the book, it was like somebody probably went back and looked at their own marriage or rethought, hey, there is somebody good out there for me. It's all about preparation. What's for you is for you. You
Right.
just got to be prepared to receive it. And that's just kind of how that goes with that.
Now let me ask you this question. As it
Mhm.
relates to your process in writing, was it were you faced with any like writer's block while you were presenting your product, or did you have what were some of the things that you went through just in writing your portion of the book, and how did you overcome those things, if there was anything?
Writer's block, you definitely get that. This is not the first book that I've written in a collaboration or on my own. I have, my own individual books that I've written as well. But you do hit writer's block, and I've learned that that's okay. It will happen. You kind of just take that moment to breathe and don't
Mhm.
overthink it.
So,
Whatever, let it flow. You got to be able to have a flow when you're writing and not force it.
so would you say to someone to just like maybe step back for a minute, regroup, and then get back, or relax, or what are some of the techniques that you did when you knew you were faced with that?
Uh, I would take a step back. I would put the writing down for a minute and clear my mental space. and, you know, meditate up on, you know, what's going on, try to channel in why am I hitting this stuck area? And then I would say, okay, well, maybe that's something that's not supposed to be in the book, or maybe there's something different, you know, a different direction you're going to move with the book. So,
Mm,
you know, I believe in just breathing because I
kind of
know a lot of
reflecting.
people, yeah, I know a lot of people that get so stressed out when they're
Right.
writing a book. You know, people would come to me and ask me all kind of questions about book
Mm,
writing. And I would tell them, you know, it's okay. Just breathe. It's all right. It
right.
will, the book will come together the way it's supposed to come together.
Right.
Period.
Kind of like let the book come to you. So another question I have for you is what would you say to that person that is sitting on the fence of getting started to write their book? They've been wanting to, they've been thinking about it, but they just, you know, how what kind of advice would you give them to get started?
I would say, just like all the other authors that were on yesterday, just write it. You got to just pick up your pen and write, because if you never write it, it's not going anywhere, you know. And
Mm,
then I know people who they have started writing. I know people who got books that they have not even put out yet. They've been waiting and waiting, and I'm like, what are you waiting for? You wrote that book 5 years ago. Why haven't you put out that book yet?
right.
What are you fearful of? Are you fearful that people are not going to buy it, it's not going to resonate with anyone? And I understand those fears, because I felt the same way. When I
Mm-hmm.
got past that, I'm like, just write this book, you know, this has a purpose, and put it out there. It's not going to sit
Right.
for 5 years. I feel like that's a waste of your energy when you just, you know, you put all that time into writing, and then it just sits there collecting dust, and then you go off and you're writing some more things, and it's doing the same thing. You know how they say it's insanity to keep doing things that aren't working?
Thinking
But if
that you
you,
have a
right,
different outcome. Mhm.
exactly. So you got to believe in the purpose of what you're doing first and foremost. If you don't believe it, you're not going to feel that energetic about getting it out there. So when you
Right.
just pick up your pen and write, you know, you set a time aside, whether it's daily, weekly, however your schedule's set up, and you just write. It will all come
Mhm.
together.
Mhm.
It
I
will all
love
come
it.
together.
I love it. And you mentioned that you have some other books. When people are your other books on Amazon as well, or how would they get in touch with you to get to take a look at your other books?
One of my books I did leave on Amazon. I didn't pull it down yet.
And what's the name of that book?
That one is called I Am Dominating All of My Eternal Shit,
Ooh, I love it. We'll
period.
have to talk about that another day.
um, that's just the way that book went. You know, everything that I write, I tell people I'm always challenged on what I write. Um,
Exactly. So
and
is
when
that
I
book on Amazon?
That book is on Amazon, it's free on Kindle,
Okay.
or you can buy it in paperback. And
Okay.
the Amazon links, everything is connected to my website. That book is on my website as well. People
Okay.
can reach out to me as well if they get a little lost and they want to go check that book out. But it is up there.
Okay, great. And what's you said what's next? You said you still writing, so you be daily. Do you on your schedule of writing, are you a daily writer or are you a like weekly, monthly writer? How do you write? Do you write every
Um,
day?
I make a time every day to sit outside of meditation and write,
Okay.
even if it's one, you know, a couple of paragraphs or one
Mm-hmm.
chapter. I make it
Mm-hmm.
my duty, you know, to write, because I know the purpose of that book. I know when I want that book to produce itself. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking that time out to write it, and then you leave room for that editing. I've heard a lot of the women talk about editing a lot as well, because that's important. Your editing phase. You know, I've had, you know, my experiences with that. When I get my book back and I look at it, and I'm like, I'm not happy with this.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, but then you kind of try to bypass that to not get stressed out about that, and you're like, you know what, the message is the message. You know,
Mm-hmm.
don't get stuck
And go on
on the,
and just go on
yes,
with it. Yeah,
just keep
absolutely.
moving.
Lastly, I want to know what's your power word that you would leave our viewers with.
resilience.
Ooh,
Um,
resilience.
resilience. Actually, I would say a month ago, I found myself journaling. I have so many journals. I journal a lot, but this particular journal was personally, I named it Resilience. Everything in that journal was around learning new things about resilience. And I learned so many different things about resilience with myself, that it's not just about how strong or weak you are. There's
Mhm.
so many different things around that, and what you have overcome, what you're moving into, where you're at right
Mhm.
now, how you're dealing with things day to day, your health and wellness, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
How you're balancing out your emotional energy, your spiritual energy. I've learned so much around it, and that's my power word, resilience.
Oh,
Even with
great.
writing, it's like just stay true to what you're doing, and it will all come together.
Queen, I love it. Thank you so much for coming in here today and sharing with us. You all in the comments, if you all picked up what the queen put down, just say I picked it up. Just say I picked it up. Just say I picked it up. Say I picked it up, because I really appreciate you sharing these things. Now, a lot of people thinking that this isn't just about your book. This is
No.
about your process. This is about the mental
Hmm.
attitude and aptitude that we have to have when we set out to accomplish our goals of
Right.
becoming an author. And there is really only a small percentage of people that make it to the finish line. There's a lot of unfinished books out there. So that's why I'm really, really encouraging you all watching. If you have a story and you have to tell it, just go ahead on and tell it. Just tell the story. So, Queen, again, I want to thank you for coming on. Definitely
Yes,
want to pick up
thank
this
you.
conversation. Well, you're welcome. And I really and truly want to pick up this conversation with you further, because I had a lot more questions, but I
Oh,
have to be
yes.
mindful of my own time.
Yes,
So
indeed.
so with
Indeed.
that being said, I love you and
Love
take
you
care,
too.
and I'll
Thank
see you
you.
soon. You're
Okay.
welcome.
Bye bye.
Bye. So, wasn't that amazing? This is what we're doing on this special time, and that is getting to know our authors, getting to know who they are. Thank you, Tiasha. Tiasha put up Lady Muhammad's tea tree link, so you all can just go to that link and you can find all of her resources are right there. All of her social media stuff, her, whatever she has going on, probably how you can purchase the book. It's probably all there under the tea tree. So I wanted to mention that while this scrolls through a second or two. So for those of you watching or come through later, this is how you get access to her to gain more about what she does and why she does what she does. So I just want to say thank you all for still, being here, for rocking us out. Now, I'm going to ready to bring up our next young lady, but before I do, I just want to I want to share with you something. We recently finished the part 2, or I should say volume 2 of Wake Up Winning No Matter What, because losing is not an option. One of our co-authors that's a part of the book project, she is also a singer-songwriter, and her name is Felicia. If you want someone to perhaps write a jingle for you in your business, if you want someone to perhaps write a song, a trailer song for you, she can do it, and she can sing it, she can put it together, she can compose it, she can take it into the studio and give you a very, very good finished product. So with that being said, I want you to just take a listen to a snippet. This is not the whole song, but this is the song that she created for our book, Wake Up Winning No Matter What, because losing is not an option, volume 2.
You gotta take time out to focus on you. Don't take on any tasks that don't belong to you. It's a perfect day to make a change. brakes on anything that get in your way. No time to second guess. You gotta put your trust in God and walk by faith. It's got to change your life. Know what you want and apply. Go far beyond than just try. Goodbye to yesterday. Today is the day to claim your destiny. Just clap your hands if you understand. Just clap your hands if you understand.
And I'm back. So I see my who's next up is back. I don't know if she's having some trouble. She got to keep running off of Kool-Aid. I don't know what's going on, but she's back. I was stalling them, Queen. I was stalling them. I said she keep going.
Yeah, my internet. I don't know what is wrong with it today.
Well, we gonna lay hands on that internet. It better get right, act right, because we ain't got time for nothing else. Queen, you there?
Amen.
Okay, you still a little.
Can you hear me?
It's like dragging.
Can you hear me?
Okay, so I can hear you now.
Okay.
I can hear you now. I'm talking with Natasha Mason, and I'm going to want you to introduce yourself to the people. Can you hear me? We might have technical. We might have technical difficulties, y'all, but we're gonna see. So I'm gonna move myself out the way, Queen.
You can't hear me.
I can hear you. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, okay, because I can hear you too. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
So what I'm gonna do, I'm a little afraid that if I go away, I'll lose you. But anyway, I am going to move out the way a little bit, and so you can introduce yourself to everybody, so you can let them know who you are, what your book is about. You say you feeling safe, Queen? Okay. This is technology at its finest, and sometimes you have a good time with it, and sometimes you don't. So it's a delay, and she's stuck.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay. So Queen, are you wireless? Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Okay, so we're having a little bit of technical difficulties. The title of her book is The Secret Everyone Knew. I was really wanting to get into this book, y'all. Okay, so I'm gonna see if she can come back in, and it's better. Hold on, don't go nowhere, y'all. No. Okay. Okay, so yeah, it's just what it is. Sometimes, sometimes it works. Your internet, sometimes it doesn't, but I got the faith, and we're gonna see she comes back. So we're talking to Miss Natasha Mason, hopefully. But if not, then we'll have to catch her up on another end. So anyway, are y'all enjoying the book fair? Are y'all enjoying the book fair? I want to know if any of my guests would like to come on and talk about their experience so far, especially the ones that have been hanging out with us from the first day. I don't know if any of you have been here since the first day or not. Oh, and we got Shimia in the building. While she's figuring that out, let me get some shout outs to some people that I see that's watching. So, of course, we got Tiasha Janae is in the building. She's helping me out on the other end, posting and keeping notes. And we got Shimia is watching. We got Nana is here. It say you doing your broadcast, your best technical. We have Connie in the building. Hey, Connie. Connie is be coming on to talk about her book. I think in a couple days. And we got Miss Sandy Rogers is in the house. I don't know if she's still here, but I know she was here. She said she loved the title that was speaking in reference to Lady Muhammad's other title of her book, which I gotta go back and watch the comments so I can, or the tape, so I can get that information down. And if you're watching, you have to give, if you are that, I see some Facebook users, but I don't see your name, and that's because you have not given StreamYard permission. But let's do a quick recap. So Yvonne was on, and she was just basically giving us the skinny of getting prepared, and that having that fearless spirit when it goes to negotiate. Do not fail to show up just because you feel inferior or you don't really know what to do. Just go show up, and then be strong, be confident. So I'm hoping that if you all are locals in the Atlanta area, that you will at least try to go to her class, because her class is amazing. And she's just a wealth of information, can really, really help you with that. Let me see if the queen can come back on. Are you there? No, this is not going, it's not going to be good for us. So, can you hear me? So she talked about that. Her statement that she left us with was spell check it and turn it in. period, and put a period on the end of that. Are you there? You frozen. Can you hear me? No. She's not. It's not going to happen. If you can hear me, try plugging it directly into your ether cord into your computer. Sometimes Wi-Fi gets a little funky, that I find that sometimes help. Yes. Hey, Connie. Were you here the other day? What do you think? What did you think about the broadcast? We got who else? We have Elaine was watching. Elaine was also one of our authors from yesterday that did an amazing job, came in and showed totally out. So I'm going to share with you all some readings from the I Am Enough book. I'll go there. I think we have, because Amber's coming on later and she'll be talking to you all from the Wake Up Winning No Matter What book, volume 1. But just to tell you a little bit of my process of writing this book, which I shared with you yesterday, was my friend and I, we sat down, we kind of, like I had already had and this is for you all that's have some stories that you've written, but you just haven't taken the time to like put them together, format them, and all that other kind of stuff. We sat down on a New Year's Eve and we just separate everything, categorize everything. Inside of the I Am Enough book, it's really a journey of stories, short stories, and poems, mostly poems. And also it has 107 affirmations. And sometimes I teach from this book, just talking about the affirmations because it has so many affirmations. And I remember at the time of writing this book, my advisor was saying, you putting too much in the book. And I was like, it was one of those things that I was drawn to do what I knew to do, which was I had to give everybody what I had at that time, because this project, it was way overdue. This was like my first book that I wrote in 2015 and copyrighted in 2015. And I was at a point, you all ever been there at that point of saying, enough is enough. I got to do this. I got to complete this task. I have to get it done. And I got to get it done now. And I want to get it done like that. So I was very stubborn when it came to getting this book done and then keeping it together like I wanted to. Because after you go through the journey of your life, I really feel like every time it's an opportunity to reflect, but not only that, say what it is you want. Stand in that knowing that, you know what, I have to keep affirming. So I'm a very big believer in affirmations. I'm a very big believer in the power of the spoken word. And we tend to misuse our words. We really do. We say things negative about ourselves. We'll say things negative about situations, like I can't do that. And, we beat ourselves up so much unknowingly. I don't think we really consciously do it. I think it's more or less like a learned act. It's kind of like from your parents first telling you, don't run because you'll fall. Well, if you don't run, you won't run, but you got to run. And if you fall, you fall. But it's from planting seeds in us like that, then we grow up with these seeds and we tend to be too cautious. We tend to be waiting. We tend to be too hesitant, so when I had the opportunity to write this book, I said, at the end of the day, I want people to always be able to say something positive about themselves. At the end of the day, I want them always to be able to affirm a better life. And that's just my body of work. That's the message that I push daily, is that. So, and I just want to take you through the sections of the book. So we have one section. It starts off with a compromising position. Now, in that section, there's a bunch of poetry that speaks to life being so you compromise. there's compromising positions. The one of the titles that I love is 60 Seconds to Self-Destruct. You know, another entitled Entangled, another entitled Homeless, Scars, Passing Scars. That's talking about being abused. Recoup. That's talking about being bankrupt, you know, being more month at the and not enough money. And then the next section goes into taking my car to the park, out of park. So it's keeping it moving. It's almost there. It's kind of like that thought of I'm almost there, keep it moving. In different, one of my favorites in this section is Playhouse. Yeah, 47. I'm gonna read you Playhouse, okay? I'm gonna read you Playhouse. Is that okay? Is that okay? Is that okay? Haven't read this in a while, so bear with me, but I remember Playhouse. And Playhouse is actually on a CD too. So before I read you that, as I got into this book, I also went into the studio and I put 12 tracks down, and some of the poems are in this book and some of them aren't. You know, some of them aren't in this book, but this particular one is in this book, and it's called Playhouse. It says, she comes home shocked. Hey, how did you get into my playhouse? I thought I took away your keys and changed the lock. Now look at you, rambling all through my thoughts. Are you serious? Redecorating my space? Removing my success picture and it's my time clock from the wall? Where did you put my journal? I know I left it over there. And what about that novel that I'm working on? It was right there beside the fridge, right next to that I Am Enough poem. Just how did you get into my playhouse? Last I saw you, you were at the House of Doubt. You had them all convinced that watching television made a whole lot of sense. Even had a timer set and a bet with your three cousins, procrastinator, fear, and disbeliever, that we all would concede, give up on our dreams and abandonment. Yes, you know what I mean. I swung from branch to branch quick, getting out of there. Hey, how did you get into my playhouse? How did you get past Isaiah 54:17? No weapon that form against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that rises shall against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of and the servant of the Lord, and their righteousness are of me, saith the Lord. And Lord, I do accept. Amen. What happened? Was my guard down? Did I sleep too sound? Or did you float into my window when I was listening to my Kindle? And what about my inspirational sounds? I thought my vision board and my daily decorations and my positive self-talk, I thought I had you blocked. Again, I asked, how did you get into my playhouse? I counted on my like-minded friends, you know, accountability coaches and my righteous spiritual leaders. And you kept, and lastly, I depended on my role models and, of course, my dream-making buddies to fill my play. But somehow you still managed to bounce into my playhouse. You took a seat as if you were invited. Oh, no, I don't think so. I think it's time for you to go. And make sure you take all your friends, you know, poverty and sickness and bitterness and confusion. Don't forget laziness, conformity, and the oldest self-doubter. And did I mention procrastinator and people pleaser and non-believer? Get them up out of here right now. It's time for them to go. And this time I'm using security. Matthew 19:26. Jesus looked at them and said, with man, this is impossible, but with God, all things are possible. So don't even think about returning to my playhouse. Returning to my playhouse. So that was in my taking my car out of park segment. Did y'all like that? And so then the next segment is a fashion statement, and it has some other beautiful poems that reflect. A fashion statement reflects on being unique. It reflects on being you. It reflects on accepting you for who you are. And then fourth section is risky business. And in this section, it talks about taking a chance. You know, a lot of times in life we get bitter and we give up on love, or we give up on finding something that works for us. So in that section, it talks about that. So thank you, Deborah Bell. Deborah Bell said, I loved it. Thank you so much. And and then the fifth section. So in this book, there's 5 sections. And then that fifth section is my signature poem, which is I Am Enough. And I'm gonna read that, but I'm not gonna read it right now. I'll read it sometime during the conference. But it also, in this section, also talking about higher learning, awakening, and that's pretty deep right there. And commitment. These are just some titles. Living, mistaken identity, and then you have 107 affirmations. So if you are interested in getting that book, you can go to my website, IamEnough365.com, and get that book, and and I'll autograph you a copy and send it right to you like that. So if you like it, get it. But these are some of the things that we go through in life. My premise has always been to keep moving, keep going forward. And our authors, all of our authors, the fact that they made it into that space of becoming authors meant that they just refused to quit, and they just kept moving. And this is how we have to do in life. So with that being said, I want to share with you our youngest co-author of Wake Up Winning No Matter What, Emmanuel, aka Saint Even. He has some music, and I want to share that music with you. Music time. Emmanuel Lewis, Emmanuel Lyon, I met them a long time ago. I think it was like in 2009, I want to say, maybe 2010. I don't know. It's been some time, but I've been so attracted to him and his performance. His mom, her name is Amber Lyon. She'll be coming on this evening. And she's managed him. They're originally from Brooklyn, New York. They live in Georgia now. And he is a inspirational hip hop artist, but he does a lot of music. And this song was sent over to me, so I want to play it for you. And I hope you enjoy. So sit back and take a listen. Okay? Okay.
Little mama here, she loves to sing. Have some fun today. Little mama here, she loves to sing. She don't know what that is, she don't know it. She told me that the drugs help them a pain. We gon' have some fun today. Whoa. She lost her humanity, yeah. She tell me that she love me, but I know that it's fantasy. And I just shed the light on her twisted reality, which often blows her high, so she always gets mad at me. The devil wears Prada, she loves designer shoes. Takes trips to the doctor to redesign her boobs. Cause she just subconscious to the wind is her caution. She says she only in college to get rid of her trauma. See, she never knew her pops and was sick of her mama. And walk to the beat of invisible drummers. And I'd be a liar to say I didn't want her. Took her by the hand and had a wicked summer. Watched her get high in the attic. The irony in that is just tragic. The crazy part about it, in that room, there was just one fanatic. Don't know if it's her or her assets. Hold on, little mama in here, she loves to say love. She don't know her daddy, she run away from her. She told me that the drugs help numb her pain. And we gon' have some fun today. Little mama in here, she loves to say love. She don't know her daddy, she run away from her. She told me that the drugs help numb her pain. We gon' have some fun today. We gon' have some fun today. She do it 100. way. She said, take this, it's for the pain. I should have run up. Yeah, she has none of what I need, but everything I could ever want. Smoke in the air, she about to light up another blunt. Negative influence. Everything I'm trying out now, she been doing. And then some. She said she loved the way I spit it. These other niggas can't touch my flow. Honestly, the difference in how she do is incredible. She say she love me, but I know it's a lie. And she Medusa, I can't look in her eyes. Plus she keeps snake by her side. Until we crash, promise I'm down for the ride. Neither one of us ever been this high. I wish the money was mine, because the money only thing on her mind. She only want the money for a good time. She got no fear in her eyes. Little mama in here, she love to say love. She don't know what daddy should run away. She told me that the drugs help numb her pain. And we gon' have some fun today. Little mama in here, she love to say love. She don't know what daddy should run away. She told me that the drugs help numb her pain. We gon' have some fun today. We gon' have some fun today. She did 100 ways. She said take this is for the pain. I should have run away. We gon' have some fun today. She did 100 ways. She said take this is for the pain. I should have run away. We gon' have some fun today. She did 100 ways. Said take this is for the pain. I should have run away. We gon' have some fun today. She did 100 ways. She said take this is for the pain. I should have run away.
That was Saint Even. What y'all think about that? Hey, Amber Lyons. I think I played the wrong song, but you know, that's one of my songs. Did I play the wrong song? I think so. That was from his other video. Or his other song. But hold on. I was supposed to play this.
Cause I could have been a felon. Instead, I'ma make it off these records. They gon' feeling free as a butterfly. I'm nothing like these other guys. I can't go to sleep until the sun arise. It was dog eat dog and we was puppy size. I can't stop till the Benz is my mother's ride. Cause I seen the most pain in my mother's eyes. They tried to kill us, but we fought back. Thought that my demise
Hey, let me
and
see
mortality
if
be publicized.
Queen, can you hear me?
Never be a victim to the summertime.
I can. Can you hear me?
I can.
Can you hear me?
Think we got action?
Okay.
Yep. See, I knew we was gonna get it together. It don't matter. Okay, so this is Natasha. I'm gonna put my baby on hold there for a second. And Queen,
Yes.
breathe deep. Take a deep breath in and blow it out. I don't care about none of that. You know, at the end of the day, we still standing. Things happen, right? Things happen. So, you want to get into telling us who you are, where you from, Queen?
My name is Natasha Mason. I am the author of The Secret Everyone Knew. I am a certified domestic violence coach. I am a mother of 6, a grandmother of 4. I originally grew up in Hartford, Connecticut, and I moved to California. I left California when I was 28, moved back to Connecticut. Got married, moved to New York, had another child, and now I'm back in Connecticut with my son. My book is for those who experience. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me? Okay. My book is for those who have experienced the same things that I've experienced, that have not healed from it or overcame it or thought that they were alone.
Beautiful. So The Secret Everyone Knew. Where did you get that title from?
Actually, it was another title, and the person that was working with me was on the book. We were going over and talking about who knew about it. It didn't say anything, and then I was like, "Well, I feel basically everybody knew." So she was like, "That's it, the secret everybody knew," and I was like, "Okay, yes, we gonna go with that."
So is this in reference to domestic violence, or well, what are you talking about
Reference to
exactly?
the
In reference to what?
abuse by domestic violence and child sexual abuse. Can you hear me?
Domestic violence. Uh-huh.
Okay.
It's still a little
Can you hear
choppy,
me?
but you said,
You can't hear me?
yeah, it's still a little choppy. You said domestic violence and
Can you hear me now?
child. Yeah, and it's a
Can you hear?
delay.
Okay.
Do me a favor. Do me a favor. Are you is your volume, turn your volume down? And I know you have headphones on. Turn your volume down. That might help with the feedback. Okay, can you hear me? Hello? See, I tell you.
Okay. How's that?
Okay, I can hear you. So tell us
Just
again, what is the
busy.
book about? That's okay. That's okay. We're gonna get it together.
Okay. Can you hear me?
I can. Okay, so what I want y'all to do, I want y'all to go and buy this book because obviously the story do not want to be told on the internet. Okay.
Uh,
So
Um,
Queen, did you
it's about 20
what?
plus years of.
We can't do it, Queen.
You
We're
hear
gonna
me?
have to do it. Nope, we're gonna have to do it. We're gonna have to do it another day. Because I can't hear you. So everybody, this is what happens when you're dealing with technology. It happens. It happens. It happens. It happens. Now, my next authors, they're not due to come in until 2:00, but I don't want to leave you. I don't want to close this broadcast down because then it will just break. It will cause so much havoc. So I want to ask my viewers, the viewers that are here, would you like to come on and share? Do you have any businesses that you would like to give a shout out to your business? I'm opening up this space for you, okay? Because of course I could talk, but I need to reserve my energy. So what do you think? If you want to come on, just let me know in the comments and I will send you the link and you can join me on here. Amber, if you want to come on and talk about what your organization is doing, or WWCA, I don't know if you're able to or not, but this would be a perfect opportunity to do that just so we can make the best of this time. Yeah. So that's what happens, when you're dealing with technology, things happen, but you can't sweat the small stuff and you can't sweat things you can't control or change. So okay. So that being said, okay, no problem. No problem. So that's what happens. So this book fair, it it is an opportunity for people, for authors to come in and showcase their books, talk about their business and anything else that they have going on, anything else that they're led to do. You know, yesterday we kicked off our first day, and it was just phenomenal. And really got some insight into the authors, into what they're doing, you know, outside of just being an author and writing their books, because we have lives. Some of our lives are more complicated than others. You know, some people go through a lot of mess, and some for some it might seem like it's, you know, easy breezy, but yet and still it's all intertwined. You know, it's all intertwined together. And the opportunity also offers you the opportunity to network. So that's why you hear me push in terms of make sure you write down the author's information, connect with them, because you never know. Now, last night, Shimia talked about her books, and she was turning her books. I always ask the questions, what's next? So one of her what's next questions were, or answers, was that she was turning her book into an audio book, and she was looking for male and female characters. So if you are someone that does voiceovers, or you know someone, then please, you know, let us know in here in this information. You can just say, hey, I do voiceovers, and we'll know that that is directed towards Shimia. And also, so Felicia, our songbird, as I played for you earlier, she is a singer songwriter, and she could write your jingles. You just listen to Saint Even. I don't know what all Saint Even has going on, but I know he just recently graduated from school, and he does I don't know if he's in the studio now, but that's probably someone else that could help you out with getting you, you know, songs written or performed. I know he also I think he graduated in performance arts or something. I may be misquoting, but I do know that he is an actor as well. He has the ability to do that. And you never know what these opportunities could be for you, you know. So as you kind of figuring yourself out, or you know, hey, I know I need XYZ, I want you to just look at our resources. But because we have resources, we have people that can help you, you know, structure a commercial. Another good friend of ours, Shawnee D, she's a phenomenal director, film producer. She turned her book into a stage play, and then later on, that same message from that book was turned into a movie, and she's gone on to help her daughter. Her daughter wrote her first book. Matter of fact, her movie was Saving Nina. And we got time. Yes, bachelor's. Okay, thank you, Amber. So that was Emmanuel's. He has a bachelor's in arts and performing arts with a concentration in acting. See, I be knowing stuff. I be knowing stuff. So definitely, and these are the people that you can go to as you're like building your brand for your business, or you know, or you want to become a author. You know, you want certain things to go along with that. Maybe you might want a trailer. You may want to do a commercial because your book is tied to other products. Um, and we didn't get into it. And I meant to ask Lady Muhammad when she was on. She has a CBD business, and you know that's something that you can find out more about that particular business as well. So I'm gonna see if I can play this trailer from the movie that is soon to be released. It is Saving Nina, which was written by Victoria. And dun, 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 dun. And so we'll see if we can take a good. Now I do want to warn you, the volume is maybe a little low, so you may have to lean into your computer to see it, to hear it. Turn up your computer.
sister down there doing calculations and learning physics. You know how she is. She loves investigating things, and she actually thinks she can solve world problems.
Tori,
Hey,
I heard you got beat up.
Nina, where are you talking about beat up? Girl, hush, I gotta study.
Daddy said he will hurt anyone that hurts us.
Of course he's gonna hurt anyone who messes with his 2 little girls, Nina.
Is that why you didn't tell him that you got beat up?
Why do you keep saying that? I didn't get beat up and you're asking too many questions.
You the one saying everything. I didn't say you was washed up. You need to go wash up. Yeah, you need to go wash up. Like I said, don't even worry about it. I'll help Nina. Nina, because you useless.
Hey, you can stay in my room. I have an extra bed. It would be like a huge sleepover.
That sounds wonderful. But now, is that extra bed comfortable? Because you know, at Grandma's age.
Hey, girls, hurry up. You're gonna be late for the spelling bee. Hey, what's up?
So that was Saving Nina, and that is going to be out soon. And I tell you, talking about turning dreams, expanding on dreams. So that started out as a short movie, but then they developed it into a series. It's a whole series, and it will soon to be released. And you can expect to be a part of the viewing party. It will be coming to you real soon, and that's what you can do. The ideas are endless, and then you can get with people like Yvonne, and get funded for these products, for these projects. You just never know what can happen. So I just want to play that for you, and so you can see you need to be an extra. Well, go right ahead. I do not that's not my thing. I do cameo shots, cameo shots. You go in, you say what you got to say, and then you bing out of there. I ain't with that studio life all day. But anyway, that's what we have going on over there. That's just some people that can help you out, can help you get it together. So use every opportunity to take advantage of networking. And when we reconvene at 2, somebody should be in the room soon. Then you'll be hearing from some more authors. And at 7:00, we got a really, really full lineup. At 7:00, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We got 8, 9 people coming in at 7 if they all, do their part. But it should be very, very interesting. Different types of books, different styles of writers. This is all about the author. This is all about finding your voice. As you heard from the authors earlier, just do it. You have to just make the commitment, write some every day. We're also doing our 100 days of motivation to manifestation, and I write every day. And sometimes, sometimes your writing is just for you, but sometimes it's also it's purpose for you to share with other people. And that's what I realized when I released my first book, was that this wasn't just for me. In matter of fact, it had gotten to the point that I would be listening to a friend and they would be telling me something, and then I would go back and write like a piece, a poem or something for them, directly to them. And never forget when I was in real estate, when I used to do a lot of real estate, and kept getting, these clients kept coming to me, these women that were in some pretty bad situations. And I remember this one lady in particular, she was trying to leave her boyfriend. I don't think they were married, but it doesn't matter. But she was trying to leave him because he was so violent, and we was having a hard time finding her a place. And I remember bringing her a poem that I had written because she was on the verge of thinking that she had to go back. She's like, well, I just can't find a place. And, of course, how your abuser, they'll come and they'll sweet talk you, and then you'll forget all about that. They just try to take your eyeball out. And I talked her out of going back to him through that poem. And it was like I was coming to the point of my life of realizing that, Wanda, you doing all of this sideline mentoring and coaching, you need to get more involved. You need to shine a light on in a bigger setting. And so then that's when I kind of like released that first book and realized that I had held on to those stories. I had held on to those pieces of information for too long, and that now was the time. Then I said, like, now is the time to release that. And she wasn't the only person during that time too. I told you about how the market was turned upside down, so it was a lot of people that were losing their homes, and I was telling my clients that, and I was selling those homes for those individuals. And I would tell them that your house, this is not you. This is not defined by who you are. Sell it and get another one. So what, you have to downsize. So I've always been that person to firmly believe that we're being placed right where we need to be placed. And somebody is there able to, if you're open to the lesson, if you're open to them but first you have to trust, so because we had this business relationship, I didn't ask them to tell me why they needed to move or what exactly was going on, but they just trusted that they could tell me, that they could share that information. So in them sharing that information with me, I said, well, let me share something with you. And I would pull out a poem, and that poem would fit. And I remember having sessions with my real estate clients, sessions with them that turned into these sessions of poetry, of me sharing, of them crying, of us crying over the phone. And it was what I felt like God was calling me to do. I've always been pretty active in being in people's, space and life. And then especially when I went into broadcasting, it was all about, let me get into your business. But even before then, being into real estate, I was just drawn to people. People are just drawn to me. And so if they tell me something, then I want to be able to give them a resource. And that's what your literature is. Your literature is a resource. Your literature is your legacy. So anyone watching, sitting on the sidelines, thinking about publishing your book, like, now is the time to get it done, especially during the season of change. The world as we know it will never go back to the same way. Never. No, it's never going to go back. And it's all about taking those dreams that you have and activating them, taking them and saying, you know what, I'm going to do something with this. I'm going to do something with this gift. I'm going to do something with that heartache. I'm going to do something with that story or with that information, because that information can truly bless someone else. And that's what that's what it's all about. So let me just see, I want to pull up something right quick to show you, to share with you, and hopefully somebody will be coming in real soon. But I want to just thank you for, for rocking out with me. I know you probably weren't expecting to be looking at my beautiful face all this time. I know that's probably wasn't your game plan for today. But too bad you got me. Let me see. You're absolutely right. I need to move forward and really take my writing seriously. Thank you, Grayson. Thank you. Yes. So this was for you, Grayson. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Grayson, what is your book about? Well, what are you writing about? Now's the time. Let's talk about it while I try to find this information. Tell us what your book is about. You know, I met a young man in the store the other day when I was in there, and you know, he shared with me he had purchased my book, and then he said, I'm working on a book. And I said, great. And I asked him, I said, well, what are you going to do with your book after you write it? And he said, I don't know. I hadn't thought about it. And those are the things that you want to ask yourself. When you think in terms of writing a book, there's a couple things that you need to have in place. And that is a marketing solution or a marketing plan or and a marketing budget. Because think about this, and I'm just sharing this from this perspective. If you don't have a bookstore, then you have to create a bookstore. You are the bookstore. And better yet, you're the mobile bookstore. So then you have to have a strategy. And that strategy could be in asking 10 people a day to purchase your book. Out of that 10 people, let's just say 2 people purchase that book. So that's $40 that you made a day with selling your books, or you know, or more, or whatever, because that's just a low percentage, because 10% is where you look to be in closing. But of course, it depends on who you are and how skilled you are. It could be more. But then that's a plan of action. So shout out to Derek Frazier, because Derek Frazier is selling this children's book, and he goes out every day. He came over during COVID, and we took pictures. I signed his book, you know. He brought me some books, and he signed a book for me, and he shared with me this, and I want to share with you, because if you're an author or you're thinking about author, this is some good stuff. So he said, Miss Wanda, I don't know why the people call me Miss Wanda. That means you're old. He said, Miss Wanda. I said, yes. He said, I get up every day and I make phone calls. I get up every day and I make phone calls. And I tell people I just got a book coming out and I would like to talk to you about my book. And he said, I make phone calls every day. He said, and then I have a certain time that I leave the house, and I go out and I leave the house at, I think he said he's out before noon, like by 11 o'clock. He said, I'm out. And I either go to the left or to the right. I either go east side, west side, it doesn't matter. But then I walk, and I just walk up to people and I tell them I have a book. In this book, and I start opening up the book, and they buy my book, and they buy my book. And if you follow him, you can look him up. I'm not making this stuff up. He's on Instagram. His name is Derek Frazier. I first met Derek because he was involved in his crusade. At that time was his tagline is focus on the focus. And he came through the I Am Enough talk show. This was years back. And he said, you know, when I wrote my first book, I was in a place and I didn't realize that I didn't establish forgiveness. He said, so I don't even want to talk about that book anymore, because when I looked at that book now, I could see how bitter I was. And see, this is my point. This is my point to you that's maybe holding on to a book that doesn't want to get that book, you know, out yet. He said, but this book right here, I'm in the place of healing, and I want to help heal that child that is fighting with, you know, with stigmas and stereotypes. And so that cover, it represents all of the different characteristics that a kid could have. You know, one could have freckles, one long hair, red hair, black hair, you know, big, small, skinny, you know, whatever, all different ethnic backgrounds and stuff. Beautiful, beautiful cover. And then so the book reads like an affirmation book, like A is for this and da 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 da. It just go on and on and on. A to Z in this book. But what I love about Derek was he takes his being an author serious. Most authors do not take being an author serious. They say, oh yeah, I have a book, but they don't really take it serious. Not like Derek. Derek said every day I'm at the house. I'm out of the house. I think he told me by like 11 o'clock. He started making phone calls around 8 o'clock. Then he's out of the house at 11 o'clock. And he said sometimes I don't get back home until 11 o'clock because I may be all the way on Buford Highway, just going from one place to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. And I work my way back. Then I may go all the way to almost to like let's say on the east side of town, like Covington area. He said, then I work my way back. When we sat down and talked that day, I shared with him who he needed to talk to. I said, go talk to this person, go talk to that person, go talk to this person. Derek did exactly what I recommended him to do. And then I checked in on the people that I sent him to. I said, did Derek come and see you? He said, yeah. Oh my goodness. He is such a beautiful spirited person. I said, yes, he is. So I just share that with you because as Grayson said that he needs to write his book. You need to write your book and you need to get busy with marketing your book. And there's something called pre-marketing. So you do that prior to you even launching your book because the pre-marketing makes you be accountable to yourself, not to me, but to yourself. Anytime you're snatching up people's cash dollars, then you better produce a book. So that kind of like holds your feet to the fire of getting it done. And it doesn't matter. Like nothing comes out perfect. People get mad. La, 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 la. I got so many stories about people writing books and then their family members just yanking their heart out of their soul. And they're like, oh, I shouldn't have wrote that book. And then I never hear about their book anymore. It's like, you missed the boat. Yeah. So anyway, Kara, hi. So I'm bringing on Kara, y'all, and I thank you all for hanging out with me. See, I didn't go anywhere. I couldn't leave. We had our technical difficulties. Let's send Natasha some love. She has sent me apologetic letters and stuff. It's okay, sweetie. Things happen, but we're still rocking and rolling. So I'm so glad that y'all are here. Hello, beautiful.
Hi, how are you?
I am wonderful. How are you today?
Tired. It started raining here in Germany, but it's fine.
Oh, see, we got Germany in the house. What part of Germany are you in, my love?
Kaiserslautern, like right next to Ramstein.
Okay. I have no idea. My mom stayed in Frankfurt.
Okay, so that's a little further north. So I'm a little further south.
Okay. So that's all I know. It's Frankfurt. That's all I know. And I forget where Shimia stayed at because she's from Germany. She was in Germany as well at one point in time. I think was she born there? Or she might have been born here and then lived there or whatever. So how's life in Germany?
It's fine. I used to live here as a child, so I didn't actually think I'd be back. So my husband was like, oh, I got a job there. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm going back. So it's changed a lot since I was little, but it's fine.
Okay. So what I want to do is I'm going to give you some time to introduce yourself, and then we're going to come back and have a little chat. So you are getting ready to hear from Miss Kara L.
Hi, I'm Kara L. Rose, author of The Healer's Love. I live in Germany and I homeschool all 5 of my children. I've been doing that for 6 years. And I'm also on YouTube as the Naked Firefly. It's the shortest summary that you'll ever get of me. And I'm from the state of North Carolina.
Wow, you did that like you're rapid fire. Okay, so I'm not playing around with you. I see I got to pull some teeth out. That's okay. It's a good thing. I'm like an Energizer bunny. I just keep going and going and going and going and going. So did you say North Carolina?
I am from North Carolina. We lived in Fayetteville before we moved here, but I was born in Greensboro, and I basically lived all over the world before we moved back, and we lived in Fayetteville.
Okay. So, and you have how many children again?
I have 5. I have 5. Yep.
Okay.
Ages 14 to 2.
Okay. So you're homeschooling at least 4 of them, right?
Mm-hmm. I've been doing it for 6 years. Yeah.
and then the little one is going to be super smart because she's going to be, or is it a boy or girl?
Girl, she
A girl.
catches on quickly.
She's
Trust
gonna
me.
be learning through default. I know how that is. You know, it's a funny story. When my grandbaby, she would be around me so much, she started mimicking how I was on the phone and how I'd be talking to people. And then, you know, one day a friend of mine came over and she was looking at her and she was just in a window and she had this pretend phone and you know, she was just doing her thing. She was like, she's acting just like you. She's acting just like you. I didn't, you know, I wasn't paying any attention, but it's funny how the little ones always pick up what the older ones is doing. So
I was gonna say, can I just say that you look very good for a grandma? You look very good for a grandma.
Well, I take that as a compliment.
It
Thank you
is.
very much.
When you said grandma, I was like, process, no.
Yes,
Not grandma.
yes. Proud, yes. Proud. I am a grandma, proud grandma. And if you hang around me long enough, you'll meet each one of my grandkids because they are quite the pudding to my pie. So let's talk about you a little bit more. So outside of being a writer, what other endeavors do you have?
I used to own a small natural healing shop back home. That's actually where the healers came from. And also I used to make waist beads. I don't kind of do that right now because it's been so busy lately. And right now I'm actually working on a screenplay and a stage play, but that's about it right now.
Okay.
Because unfortunately, COVID kind of has us stuck in the house here in Germany.
Okay. Now that's different because I was talking to Samantha and she's in Australia and she didn't get locked down at all.
We've been on lockdown forever, it seems. From the moment lockdown started, I think they lifted for 3 days and then it's like, oh no, go back. So they've just lifted it again for the 7th time on the end of last month and we'll see how long that goes.
Okay. So and I like that you have to tell me a little bit about this stage play that you're working on. And these waist beads that you say you're not going to sell anymore. I need a good waist bead. I was just looking at myself like I need some waist beads.
I actually started making them. I honestly don't know. All I know is that by the time before I had my 5th child, I had at least 25 around my waist and I was still making them. She is the reason why all of them are gone because her belly went wrong and it broke all of them. But
let me ask you this question. When you make the waist beads, do you leave them on until what? Can you take them off?
So you can take them off. You can sit there and you can actually, if you want to, the way that you can tie them in a bow or you can just tie them in a knot. I usually like tying them in the knot. So then basically it'll let me know hey, you've eaten too much or, it's whatever. Because it's not just, some people use it for weight loss, but the natural thing was to actually let your lover see them. And that was just something private. They're actually not supposed to be shown to the world, but unfortunately they are. But it's supposed to be a secret between you and your lover.
Like that.
So that actually kept me kind of small for a very long time. And then if they got too big, you just cut where you think they very close to the last bead. And then you just take off a few beads and you just retie it. And then you got them back on. Yeah.
Got you. So you could just teach me how to make them since you're not making them anymore, and I could just make mine
for my
lover.
I've actually been encouraged by a few of my readers to actually make the waist beads to go along with the book. Yeah.
Nice. That would be awesome. So let's get into this book. Where did the name come from?
So that's funny. So the book actually started off as a complete utter women's fiction book, and it was actually called. Oh my goodness, what was it called? I don't remember, but I know the name after that, it became Chemistry, but I didn't like that. So in the book, Yanda, who is the main character, she is a natural healer. She comes from a line of Yoruba slaves who literally revolted against their masters and basically took over the island. And it's almost like in Haiti. So they had their whole economy. And she's just been traumatized. She's just been wanting to be loved by not only a father who abandoned her and a brother who basically he left to go make a better life, but they never seen him again. And also, of course, by her mother who loves her, but at the same time is so stuck on trying to get her married and trying to keep the family good in the eyes of society. this child does not feel love, or this woman does not feel love. So by the time she does meet the main male character, yeah, you could still be you. You could do all these things and you could still be loved. So you see her not only being loved, but she's also giving it as well, because the main male character is bruised as well. He's a little traumatized as well.
Wow. So what gave you the idea behind those characters?
Like I originally said, it was women's fiction. I was making waist beads one day, and I was like, I should write a story, because the spiritual and the historical aspect behind the waist beads for Yoruba women. I was like, well, I want to go ahead and just write a story about like a family of women and their waist beads. And it started off with the story being from the viewpoint of the grandmother, actually, Nana B. And Nana B is fascinating. I love her. But I started getting fascinated by one of her granddaughters, and the man who basically walked into the store. So from there, the waist beads came just, I guess you can say, kind of background, but at the same time, it represented each, oh my goodness, each stage of life for each of the women. So yeah, so that's where that came from.
I love that. So you want to give us a history lesson on the waist beads, or the where the setting of the book is?
Okay, so with the waist beads, so the Yoruba culture, of course, I just basically just explained it to you that some of it was to keep women small, but also mainly so it was like a secret between lovers. The other thing was that some women would actually use them. They put like little, not amulets, but like certain stones and certain beads on there. So if they were trying to get pregnant, if they were trying to protect themselves or their children, if they were trying to get rich, like there were just so many things, or if they were trying to show everybody in society who they were, if they were a priestess, if they were a rich man's wife, if whoever they were. So, excuse me, in this case, on the island of Ibala, which is island, is a fictional island, and it's actually based off the Yoruba word, which means, oh my goodness, which basically it's religious aspect. I have to look that up right quick. I can't remember what it was, but it was a Yoruba word. And I was just like, I want to go with this because I feel like I know what the original title was. It was Ima. So Ima in Yoruba means striving. And that's what the original title was. Okay. So with that, you have on this island of island of Ibala, Yanda is stuck within a society that thinks in the way of old. They've come from Nigeria. They were kidnapped from Nigeria, brought here. And of course, they've taken back their freedom, but now they're stuck. They still have their connections back to Nigeria, but they have their old ways of thinking. So you have them doing the waist beads, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But then they also have a way of how women should be perceived in society, how they should be married and who they should be married to. So and if you're a mute or a selective mute in Yanda's case, you're looked at like, is something wrong with you? Like, have the gods punished you? So it's one of those.
Wow. That's very interesting. So how many characters is in the book? You talk about Granny's in the book, right?
So you have grandmother, Nana B. So then you have her cousin, who's like basically every once in a while she comes in and out, but you really don't see her much. You see her mother more often. You see her aunt. You see her uncle, who he is a wounded Yoruba man on this island. He feels like he can't do anything, so he kind of takes it out on his women, unfortunately. And then you have Emiliano, who is the main male character. You have his mother. You have his sister, who majority of people love, and they kind of want to see her become an adult and find her love of her life. Then you also have Emiliano's best friend, and then Yanda's best friend, Gianna, who she works with at the time.
Wow. Now, is this the same book that you're turning into a screen?
I am.
Or different one. Okay, this one. Because this one sounds very interesting. Like you could do a lot with this book.
I am.
Are you doing a series or a screenplay?
I'm doing the screenplay, but there are 2 more books to come after the first one.
Okay. So is it like a sequel?
So the next one we'll be looking at Gianna's love life. And then, of course, well, actually, no, there's 3 books. So you'll be looking at Gianna, who she has a secret herself. It's kind of hinted at in the first book near the end, but nobody's really aware of it until you get to the second book. The third book will be Yesenia. You will see her get older. And then the last one, of course, will be the child that Emiliano and Yanda had. And you'll be watching them as they grow on this island and find their love as well.
Wow. Now, what's your process to writing? Do you storyboard when you write, or do you just kind of grab a thought and write it and just really don't know where it's going to go, but you know it's going to probably go somewhere in there? What's your process? I know everybody have different process.
It depends. So like with the Healer's Love, I honestly just pantsed it, just went with it. And when I didn't like how the first book turned out, I was like, we're changing it into a romance. So with that one, I pantsed it. Then there are books which I'm writing one right now, which is called Bittersweet at the moment, but I'm sure I'm going to change it anyway, which I've like not planned it out, but write like small summaries of which scene and which chapter is going to be. More than likely, the second book, To the Healer's Love, will more likely be pantsed because I write by hand. And then I kind of transfer it to the computer. So that kind of takes it a while because the Healer's Love should have been done like a long time ago. But like, it was like, I'm handwriting this. And then I actually put it on screen because in my belief, I think that I write better by hand only because I feel like everything that's in my heart goes onto this paper. Whereas if it's on the screen, it's kind of coming from my head. Yeah.
You like me. I tell you, Queen, let me tell you, I'll write so much to where it's ridiculous. I'll be tired. I'll write it out, then I'll type it, and then I'll probably rewrite it again on paper. I literally have like notebooks around me, the computer, another notebook. It's crazy. How do you keep up with yourself? Because I have a hard time keeping up with myself. I really do.
I have a hard time keeping. Now, if it's a notebook, I literally, my husband would tell you, my parents would tell you too, I will hold on to that notebook like it is the holy grail. Like, don't you touch it. Like, if it's out of my sight for 2 seconds, the whole entire house is being torn apart because I'm like, where is that notebook? And I might not even be working on the story that day. It's just the fact that it needs to be nearby. Whereas if it's on the computer, I do have to kind of plan it out only because I do have the little 2-year-old who comes in here every 5 seconds trying to make sure that I'm alive. And then she'll like walk around my office for like 5 seconds before she finally leaves. So, and then by the time she leaves, I can't really focus because then I'm like, where was I at?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
You have to get back to it.
Yeah.
Do you have a preference of favorite time of day to write?
Oh, early in the morning, like maybe about 3 or 4 in the morning. Unfortunately, I have to watch myself because then if I don't watch myself, I'll go the entire day and the children will not tell me like, Mom, we need to do school. They'll just be like, enjoy that.
They'll be like, we're off. Yay, we're off today. Mom is writing. Leave her alone.
Right. Leave me alone. And so then I'm upset. And then at night, I'll try to do some editing of the chapter that I just did, or I'll just plan out the next scene for the next morning.
Got you. Interesting. I love it how, and I don't know, this is inspiring me to get more into character writing just from listening to everybody talk, because I'm more like the instructional, like, let's get it done. I think business. So everything that I do is like, oh, you want to do this? Like, do this first, da 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 da. So it's that kind of writing. But I've been watching a lot of espionage movies.
Okay.
And I really like that because I like action. Okay, I'm going to deny it if anybody asks me.
Okay.
But I'll tell the truth now. One of my favorite movies is Godfather because I like gangster movies. I'm a gangster girl.
I was raised on that movie. Oh my God.
Right. Like all the series, I watched them. And Godfather, and then espionage and sci-fi. Those are the things that I like. Like Star Trek, like I'm a Trekkie. So things like that, like I'm not into the paranormal movie. I don't really care for that. Like seeing the bed, lifting, things moving. Even though I'm waiting for my ancestors to talk to me, like I'll be saying, I wish I would knock over something. So, I know that y'all listening. But and I think that's how I'm getting older. But I just was sharing that because you do these characters and it takes time to like really develop a character, and now you're going to move it into a screenplay or into even the book. To me, the book is the rawest form because when you do a book, you're talking about, hey, and she wears her hair, you know, her hair was messy, and you got to do all this descriptive type of writing.
Yeah.
Where is that not a gift? I mean, where did you get that knowledge and that insight from?
I honestly don't know. Like, since I was so I've always been a storyteller since I was little. My dad would tell you that I just come in there and randomly just tell him a story, and he'd be like, I was reading the paper. But the moment, like the moment I was able to write, like learn how to put letters together, it was over and done with. I had composition notebooks on top of composition notebooks. I literally see the characters like a movie. So while I'm writing it, whereas most people, they have like the whole character sheet, I don't do a character sheet. I literally just watch this character as if they're right here in my room with me, and I'm watching them go through their world, and then I write down what I see. So then the first draft is kind of rough because it's not as much description of the world. It's just basically the focus on the character. And then when I come back, I have to add in the description of the world and any other thing that I like, maybe the emotion of like the other characters instead of the main character. So I've just always done this.
Wow. Is this not good stuff? Y'all say good stuff. I know they're getting some good nuggets. Because, you know, people always have different ideals of what it takes to become a writer. And I think we've all most already kind of dispelled the myth that you have to be, you know, a certain person or whatever. You just do it, you know, you just write from whatever. And I was sharing with someone the other day, like if you like dogs, write about dogs, write about whatever, you know, whatever your thing is, that's what you can write about if you choose to be a writer. When did you decide that this was your path?
So I was 9, and my dad took me to the library on base. I'm a military brat. And I was just like, he was trying to help my brother pick out a book. And I just remember walking through the shelves. I even went through the adult section. That's how I know he wasn't watching me. I just wandered off. And I found the book Frankenstein and a lot of other books. But I was just sitting there like, one day I'm going to write a book and put it on here and on one of these shelves. And I told my dad, I said, I'm just going to bring a book back and just put it on the shelf. And he's like, that doesn't work like that. It's like, I'm going to write it and I'll put it on the shelf. And he's like, that still doesn't work like that. I'm going to do it. And so then ever since then, I've just always wanted to do it. Yeah. So there was a moment in time where, like, right after my second child, there were health issues and mental issues where I couldn't focus. I could write, but I didn't want to do long periods of time. And then my husband came to me one day and he was just like, so when are we writing that $1 million book? And I just kind of looked at him and thought he was joking. And he just kept telling me every day, he's like, so sitting down today and we writing that $1 million book. And then he brought me like a stack of notebooks. And he was like, I don't care how you're getting it out. You getting it out. And we're writing that $1 million book. So he was actually the one that encouraged me to get back into wanting to put my book on the shelves, and not just the library, but anywhere. So.
I love it. Talking about affirmations and a great support system. So and your kids are pretty supportive too, because they just let you write. They don't care whether they eat or not, or just as long as you're not trying to homeschool them.
The 14-year-old, my son, the oldest, he is like probably just as supportive as his dad. Yes, he'll sit there and try to sneak his way out of school as well. But if he knows he's supposed to do school, and the girls as well, he'll try to get them to at least do their reading or their math. But then he'll also sit there and see if I need water or if I need snacks, or to make sure I'm still living. Because sometimes I'll stay in here and won't move. And he'll be like, are you good? And I'm like, I'm fine. He's like, okay, I'm just checking on you. And then he'll be here.
Yeah. And people, so this speaks to my heart, because the people around you have to understand what your vision and what your mission is. If not, it can be very difficult. So what kind of advice would you offer somebody that's maybe doesn't have that support system like that you do at home, that they really want to write, but they don't have that?
So when I was at home, even though my dad was supportive, sometimes he had to be gone. And other people in the family weren't as supportive, but that's fine. So what I would do at that moment is that I would literally just find moments to write and just remember that these worlds need to be told. So I believe in the ancestors as well. And actually in the Healer's Love, you see the ancestors mentioned several times. And I believe that from that spiritual aspect, that these worlds and these people are given to you. If you see them, write them down. Yeah, you're not going to have that support system maybe at the time, but Write down the affirmations. Say that affirmation, because I'm telling you, after my husband told me the affirmation, I literally had to sit there and like take a year or two to believe in it myself. I had to say affirmations to myself every day. I had to remind myself, we're going to schedule this. We're going to make this a business. This is now your 9 to 5. So do it. So I'd write it down. It was my 9 to 5. And before I get started, I do my affirmations in the morning, get my 9 to 5, take my hour break, do my affirmations again, and remind myself. And then on top of that, the last thing that I did is that I went out and I looked for a support system, because honestly, there are writers out there that are just probably in your same shoes. They probably don't have the support system at home that they need, and they're looking for somebody to support them. Both of you can build each other up, check on each other, and hold each other accountable.
Right. Do you use Clubhouse?
I do.
You do?
Yes.
Do you have a room on Clubhouse?
I do
you
not.
just pop in there?
I just popped in there. I haven't really figured out what my room is yet.
We should create a room.
Oh, I would love that.
I want to do a room with you on Clubhouse. My
Okay.
spirit is calling me to do a room with you on Clubhouse.
I would love that.
Yeah, because it's just some certain things that you're saying, and as it ties into you talk about faith, you talk about discipline, and then building that belief system. And you said that it took you, even after your husband confirmed that you should be doing it, it took you 2 years to build up that conditioning. And that's a problem for a lot of people. And to be quite honest, I don't think we have 2 years to wait on these dreams.
That's true.
You know, I don't think that the world needs us to wait for 2 years. I think that we could do something very, very empowering that will inspire people to take action like right away. And you mentioned something, and that is to have a support system. You know, not just a writer's workshop. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like a real true support system to where you can unpack some of that baggage. Because I was fortunate enough in my life. My mom, she was just the greatest mom. I used to write work like letters together, and she would sound them out. She would do her thing. I don't even know. And as a little girl, I remember that. And then one of my poems is really dedicated to her, because she was the one that told me I was enough. She was the one that said, like, you can do anything. And, I didn't believe that. I mean, I did, but I didn't. But now I feel like, yeah, I really believe that now. I really do believe that. But you can do anything, like this writing thing. If you, just sit back and figure it out, just read enough books, and you really. And my mom was the true reader. She was the true reader. Like she went through Harry Potter books in a day, like those big thick books. She would sit there. Okay, I'm done. Where's the next one? Okay, I'm done. Where's the next one? And then she would come and tell me about it. I'd be like, Mom, please. Oh, really? I was like your dad. Like, really? I'm not trying to listen to this.
But even he would listen to my stories. It's funny because he's actually the one that influenced me. Like he'd sit down. He taught me how to read before kindergarten. I was sitting there reading the paper with him. He'd teach me words, and then he'd read fairy tales to us. So when I sit there and try to read him my stories, he's like, I'm trying to read the paper. I'm like, but I need you for 2 seconds.
I love it. So walk us through the process of when did you make the decision to take now the healer? I mean, did I have
the healer's love? It's fine.
I don't even have the whole name up there. You didn't even say anything, Kara.
We were having a good conversation. I was like, I'm not gonna say anything.
You were supposed to say something. Oh my goodness. I'm like, what, the healer? Oh goodness. I didn't left out.
You renamed my book.
I didn't rename it. No, I'm not. I'm definitely not about to do that. I'm about to fix it. Okay. So take us through the process of like when you said, okay, like this needs more. Like what was the more? When did you have a dream? Did the ancestors come tap you on the shoulder and say you got to turn this into something else? Like what happened?
So you can give credit to the ancestors. What also happened is that while I was focused on Nana B, she kept turning my head like, yo, don't look at me. Don't look at me. And I'm just like, Nana B, like you're the grandma. Like I want to focus on you and these waist beads. Don't look at me. So then I'm looking at Iyanda and I'm like, okay, what's up with Yana? And then like Emiliano walks in on the scene. I'm like, what's up with these two? Now we must follow them. And so now we're sitting there writing the story with them, watching them, watching her heal, watching him heal, and then watching both of them trying to come together and help the other. Like it was Nana B. She's just like, no, I'm not
She
the
told
one.
you what to do.
Yeah.
Wow. That's dynamite. That's dynamite. So when do you anticipating getting that out?
The next one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the next one should be out because I'm working on it right now. Hopefully it will be out by next year because I'm a perfectionist. It will, I will go over that, like literally the Healer's Love went through 20 personal edits
Oh my goodness.
before I gave it to an editor. And thankfully my editor, Zaji, she's like on a whole, she understood where I was coming from. Like she was sitting there analyzing the mess out of my book. I'm like, I just followed the characters. And she's like, no, this is what you meant, and this is what you, okay. And like she saw the spiritual aspect of each of it, but yet I'm a perfectionist. So hopefully it'll be out by next year because she's doing the same thing, getting on me about that.
Okay, that's good. And the book will come out. Then when will you kind of try to turn that into, or when will you write it out for the screenplay?
I'm working on the screenplay right now. Actually, as a matter of fact, some of my writing siblings are helping me to get that done.
Okay, cool. I love it. Well, I have truly enjoyed myself. You got a lot of comments in there. Like everybody is listening and watching. Do you know Grayson Wild?
I do. He's one of my writing siblings. He's my little brother.
He loves you. He's letting me know that you're like his person.
He is one of my writing siblings. Him.
Yes. Well, he's on here. He's watching through YouTube. So thank you, Grayson. And Deborah Bell said good stuff, and Tiasha said good stuff, and Lisa said I'm back, and they said I'm loving it and loving the ideas of support system. So go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, in S. Sapak, he's also my baby brother. He'd been writing sibling, so it's like my whole little writing family in there. Yeah, S. Sapak.
I didn't see his name. Oh yeah. Okay, I see him. He was down. He was up. He was up in the thing. So yeah. Well, thank you so much. And yes, Grayson, pre-marketing, it matters, and I can help you with that. You know, that's how you let your product let your
oh no, I'm frozen.
It can, I tell you, see here, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
We had a technical glitch. They're trying to be funny because they know we got business to do. They're trying to be funny with this whole internet thing. They wouldn't even let Natasha come on. She was having so much trouble. She just kind of gave up. But we're gonna keep it moving. And what advice would you give someone that is sitting on the fence about writing?
The first question I would ask you would be why? Why are you sitting on the fence about writing? Once you figure out that why, then you need to figure out, is it important to be there? Do you kind of just need to just stop it? So like mine would have been like, I was afraid that people wouldn't like my stories, that I wasn't a good storyteller. And the question was, why did I tell myself that? And that's only because I've had a fourth grade teacher tell me that. And then I had to remind myself, this is not about that fourth grade teacher. That fourth grade teacher is not my audience. Your audience is out there. Somebody needs to hear that story. The story that you're writing is meant not only for your readers, but it's meant for you. The Healer's Love was meant for me. The Healer's Love is loosely based off of me and everything I've basically gone through. So there's somebody out there who needs to hear your story. You need to hear it, obviously, and so does somebody else. So write it. Like, even if it doesn't sound right, even if it sounds stupid, write it anyway.
I love it. I love it. That's great. That's good stuff. Y'all. Say good stuff. And what would be your power word that you would leave our viewers with today?
Believe.
Write that down, y'all. Believe. So I don't know if you heard the instructions earlier. So at the end of everything, Power words will be shown, and then they would have to identify with who those power words come from, or who that everybody needs to hear your story, where that comes from. I'm just hoping that this time that we have together presenting these different books, that it does more for our viewers than they were expecting. And of course, that it builds relationships within the community of writers. So that's our intentions here at the I Am Enough Talk Show. And I appreciate you, Kara. Any last words you want to say to us before you take off?
None that I can think of except like keep writing, keep believing, and keep imagining. And even for nonfiction writers, like there's somebody out there that needs that too. So keep believing and just keep writing. So, and I thank you for inviting me. I have fun.
Absolutely. I wouldn't have it any other way. So I am going to take a quick break and play something real quick. And again, Queen, take care of those babies. And we're going to hook up soon. We're going to see how we can manage the schedule. I know we're on two different time frames. What time is it in Germany right now?
Right now it is 8:30.
a.m. or p.m.?
p.m.
p.m. Okay, good. Okay, so we got to figure that out. But we'll talk real soon. And thank you so much again. I appreciate you.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. So, was that not some good stuff? I tell you, I just love my life. I love talking to people. I love talking to passionate people that smile and that are driven and that are excited about what they do. This always matters when you doing the things for yourself that you supposed to do, because when it comes to writing, your literature is your legacy, right? Your literature is your legacy. I am going to play something real quick, and then when I come back, I'm gonna bring you Stephanie Rochelle. And I had the pleasure of talking to Stephanie Rochelle some months ago. We were talking about some other things, but today we're going to get into this book, A Cracked Egg. So hold up. I'll be right back.
You gotta take time out to focus on you. Don't take on any task that don't belong to you. It's a perfect day to make a change. Gotta put the brakes on anything that get in your way. No time to second guess. You gotta put your trust in God and walk by faith. It's time to change your life. Know what you want and apply. Go far beyond than just try. Goodbye to yesterday. Today is the day to claim your destiny. Just clap your hands if you understand. Just clap your hands if you understand.
This is Lisa Bailey, and I am recording my I am affirmations. I am intelligent. I am knowledgeable. I am supportive. I am a good wife and mother. I am proud. I am strong. I am thankful. I am grateful. I am alive. I am life. I am giving. I am a receiver. I am sensitive. I am bold. I am a winner. I am an expert. I am thriving. I am growing. I am a finisher. I am innovative. I am creative. I am successful. I am a leader. I am wealthy. I am a money magnet. I am healthy. I am happy. I am life. I am living my best life. I am a child of God. I am spiritual.
Hey y'all, it's me, Wanda D, the Motivational Queen, your accountability coach helping you get it done. What is it that you need to get done? I can help you get on the media and make more money. Get that exposure you're looking for. So come see me. Check me out, all social media under Wanda D Hollis, yes, my government name. And you can also follow my website at IamEnough365.com. That's me, Wanda D, the Motivational Queen, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
And we're back. So are y'all enjoying yourself? We coming to the end of the first half of the day. And without further ado, I want to bring on Miss Stephanie. Like I said, I had the pleasure of meeting her some months back. Was it last year? I don't remember. I don't keep up with time. But anyway, she's gonna come over here and here so we can chop it up. What's up, lady? How you doing?
Hey, I see you're red now.
Yes, I am.
I love it.
And I was blind then. I've been red for.
We were
for
both
months.
blind then. I was rocking the natural, but I've been red before too, so I love it.
Yes. It's my inner firefly.
There you go.
How you been?
Excellent.
Good to hear. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna scoot out of the way for a minute, and then I'm gonna come back in, and we're gonna, have this beautiful conversation.
Okay.
So just introduce yourself to people and tell them a little bit about your book.
Oh, great. Okay, yes. Hello, everyone. I am Stephanie Rochelle, and basically I go by the Relationship Reset Strategist. And basically what that means is I help people get what they want. I help people live the life of their dreams. That's what I enjoy doing. And basically it all started from this one book, A Cracked Egg. And I just poured my heart into that book. It was everything that I had went through and how I overcame it. And all of us, I don't care who you are, at some point in time, life is going to throw us a hiccup. And it's like, what do we do in that moment? It's how to just push through and still know that, even in darkness, even in devastation, even in anything that we go through, God is still with us. And it's just asking him, okay, God, how do I go from here to where you want to be? That is it. And you literally, all of us are a cracked egg at some point in time. And actually, we're all cracked eggs until we rebuild our life from the inside out after what we've been through.
Absolutely. I love the title, Stephanie.
God gave it to me.
I just love the title. When I first seen that title, this was it last year that we met? I can't.
That's what I was trying to. It's been a while. It's been, if not a year, it's been 9 months.
Yeah, because we met during the pandemic, of course. Through LinkedIn.
Yep.
Right, through LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And you came on the show, and we were talking about your coaching business.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So today we're going to talk about this cracked egg that I just love the title. Yes. And so, but first, tell us where you're from. Are you from Georgia?
I'm from Ohio, but I literally have been in Atlanta since '93. So
okay,
this is home. Yeah.
So from Ohio with the OJs? Yes.
A little town called Warren, Ohio, but it's like 45 minutes from Cleveland.
Okay. Yeah. The OJs was my mama's favorite group.
Everybody's favorite.
Okay. So the one concert we went to, she was just, I just love to be was that I was able to take my mama to see the OJs. So yeah, your favorite group too.
Oh yeah, everybody's. I mean, everybody loves the OJs.
Yeah,
You
they
know, it's
do.
just that classic. You know what I mean? It's kind of like Maze. It never gets
Yeah.
old. Yeah,
Never gets old. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's real good. And I'm from up top too. But what made you make the shift from up top to down south?
Well, actually, I used to live in Orlando, and that's part of my story. I lived in Orlando, Florida, to my first husband. We got divorced. Well, we moved to Atlanta to be just closer to family once we started having kids and everything. And that's when the first hiccup happened. And so we moved here. It was thankful to be around, more family, still far from Ohio, but not 17 hours far. We were in
Right.
Orlando. So that's what brought me to Atlanta. And then just,
Kind of
everything
stayed
in life
there.
just starts happening. Yeah. And
Yeah.
now it's like a whole nother side of the shift. Life is great.
And you're gonna get into that.
Yeah.
But now when and you said the first hiccup, I like the way you talk. So take us of just being able to pour out the story, because I do know that like there's a difference. We just was talking to Kara, and her story is from a different, her the writing is fictional, I think. Yeah, fictional.
Okay.
So it's a difference when you get into books of healing, books of revealing. It takes on a whole. It's a lot.
Yes.
And sometimes it takes people a lot to tell it, and then there's still a little apprehension. And I've watched people write stories and tell it, but I still see a lot of pain there. So
Yes.
they still never really get over it. So can
Yes.
you just kind of walk us through with the decision that you made first to put the pen to paper?
Yeah. Well, actually, guys, it took me a long time to put pen to paper, but I am very competitive. God knows exactly how to deal with me. Okay. So, how you go through stuff and you know exactly what it is you're supposed to do. I knew I was supposed to write this book years ago. I mean, literally years ago. And I just didn't do it. I said, who wants to read a book about something that I thought was like the worst thing in my life? I didn't realize at that time how my book was going to help people. And I'm like, who wants to? This is what I was saying to myself, and this is why I coach on this as well. Because what we say to ourselves, that's what we truly believe. I believe that nobody was going to buy the book. I believe that nobody was going to want to hear my story of my trauma and loss, losing my son, going through a divorce after being married for so many years, and all of that. But God was just finishing the story. When I finally wrote the book, He let me literally get through all of that and then rebuild my life onto the life that I have right now. And that is what people needed to see. They needed to see the hope after everything that I went through. There is still God still has something in store. And I just stuck with it. I stuck with that after losing my son to a brain tumor. He was 4. It was my firstborn. So that's you're excited, you're a parent, you're doing your thing. And it's just like you hit with that. That's like, what in the world? But in everything. And at the time, I'm telling you guys, I didn't see it. I was mad at God and all of that, because there's people out here doing everything crazy and they got their child and I didn't have mine. These are the things that I was saying at the time. I can be straight up honest and vulnerable with you guys. And if you read my book, you'll see I just tell it. I just tell the real truth because I wanted people to be right there with me. When I was losing my son, I wanted people to be right there with me when I had to overcome the fear and have my next child, which is my daughter. I just wanted you to see how people go through things, but you can move forward. And at the time, it doesn't look like it. No, I did not want this to be my story. But this story, my story, God had so much other stuff in store for me that if I would have just been obedient and did what He asked me to do years ago, I would have been way more ahead of the game. But it just took me a minute. And that's what I tell everybody. It's a lot of coaches out here. It's a lot of people out here that can teach you a whole lot of stuff. But I tell the truth, you've got to grow sometimes into who God has called you to be. And I literally had to grow into this. I was already a leader, but I'm saying I am literally changing people's lives now. And it all started with a book.
With you releasing that, it's kind of like how you had to get out of your way.
I had to get out my way, but I had to grow first in order to get out of my way, right? Because
absolutely,
I really didn't want all of this on me to say I can help you and I can help you. I was just trying to get through everything that I had to get through.
Right.
You know, that's what I thought. But everything that we do or experience or go through, what they call our testimony, is for other people. It wasn't about me. Mm-hmm. And so when I accepted the assignment, you know, he just opened the door to so much more stuff. And so, and yes, it was a very hard book to write, but I had places in the book that you're going to smile, places in the book that you're going to laugh, places in the book that you might cry with me, right? And like I tell people, if you got a book in you, and all of us have at least one, I believe, because everybody has been through something. Mm-hmm. Just tell us the raw truth. Tell us everything that you went through, what you were feeling, because somebody else is feeling it too. And they need to get on the other side, and they may be stuck. Right. And they just need to hear from you, your story. Right. And honestly, and I'm gonna give you a little tip on writing a book, because what you were saying earlier, my publisher, she said, there's no bitterness. Like, she could literally read my story and I wasn't mad at my ex, and I wasn't no longer mad at God, and, but I'm telling you the truth through the whole thing. But the chapter with my son, even though it's in the beginning of the book, I wrote it last. Mm-hmm. So nothing has to be written in order. God will put that whole thing together exactly how it's supposed to go. And and you'll be a better person.
And then you take time and format it after you get all of the information out. When you were writing, and I know that this book is very personal, because of course it's you, but was there ever a time that you really could not write a certain part that you knew you had to write, but you kind of like said, you know what, I can't really write that right now?
No, for me, because actually I had delayed the book so long, right? And what he actually did was, I got married again, and I moved on a different side of town. So I play tennis. So I was looking for a new tennis team. So I joined this team, and there were several ladies on there that were authors. And I'm like, okay, God, I see you, because he was like, if they could do it, I could do it. It's like, and then that's when he dropped the name of the book in my spirit. And I still didn't move. I didn't move then. I had, I told my husband, I said, I got the title of the book. Because even, when I met my husband, everybody knew I had this assignment on my life. They just waiting on Stephanie. As I said, so God gave me the title. I woke up with it. I said, it's a cracked egg. He said, it's a what? I said, I don't even know what it means. But I'm telling you, that's the name of the book. But literally, guys, when I start putting pen to paper, and it literally took me 4 months to unload this book. When I started writing, I didn't stop. I just put the pen down when I was done.
Wow.
Yeah, I got it done. But again, I had delayed it and delayed it.
Right. Because the process was all of those years of not doing it when it was first told to you to do it.
Yes, exactly.
And you kept saying, no. And then once you did it, you said, then you noticed things just start opening up. It's like your whole life went to another level.
It really did.
Talk about that for a minute, Stephanie.
And that was another thing. Like I said, I had to grow into it. So so I'm working my job, and I had a pastor on my job. She was, I don't know what level, associate pastor or something at her church. And she said, you need to come speak at my Women's Day program. I said, oh no, I don't speak. I just wrote a book. Look, I have done what God has asked me to do. I'm going to help the people from the book. I need y'all to buy the book, and I'm done. She's like, I couldn't even get back to my desk, and I heard God saying, now you're supposed to speak. Y'all, you would never know it by how I sound. I know, because
she's totally changed.
When I tell you, I had to do a lot of work on myself. That's how I tell people. I'm telling you, you have to grow into it. He will get you there to get to where he really wants you to be. So I spoke to these ladies, and I know I had never spoke in my life. I was a shy computer programmer. In the cubicle, working by myself. I ain't have to deal with a whole lot of people, but I was a people person. I love people. That is what I was put here to do, is to help people. But he was stretching me to put me on the stage in front of a Women's Day program. Now that was, my first time speaking out the gate, and I'm like, this got to be somebody playing a joke on me or something. I spoke before these ladies, had my head down, and this is how I knew I was meant for more. I was done. And so I just lifted my head, and the whole audience was standing up. People was crying. It was people in the audience who had lost their child. It was people in the audience that had been dumped by their husband, you know, going through my whole story. And I'm just like, oh, you just happened to put the people that had my story in this conference for me. So I can see that my story was needed. I mean, and that's just how he has to work with me, to push me sometime to come out of my comfort zone. Because I'm telling you guys, everything that you want is out of your comfort zone. It's not in your
You better say, where my bell at? You better say that, Stephanie. You better be teaching up in here. Everything you want is out of your comfort zone.
Everything.
I'm about to start running around the room.
I know. And I mean, I it's just like, I can literally, I'm also a real estate agent, a realtor. I've been doing that forever because I love to help people. I could literally do what I do. Like people say, if you had more money, or if you had everything you wanted, what would you do? Exactly
what I'm doing. Right.
Exactly what I'm doing. And I didn't even know this was my thing, right? I was just trying to get God off my back.
It's your thing. And how much now, you know, because we often do that. And I know that, you know, you're in your coaching business. Would you say that that's one of the top reasons what hold people back is trying to stay in that comfort zone?
Fear of the unknown. Fear of the unknown, fear of what people will say and what they will think. Fear. And everything is on the other side of fear. When I got over people, because like I said, I was a leader, but I was a behind the scenes. I didn't care if you go ahead, get your limelight. Go ahead, get on out there. I'll help you in the background. I'm gonna make you look good. I'm gonna make us, you know, everything gonna work. I was good with it. But I'm a very, now if you don't want the real deal when I'm coaching you, I'm not your coach. I'm gonna tell you the truth. We're gonna get your life together, right? But you gotta understand that everything that I'm saying to you, it's not me. I'm speaking through him, right? We got to get you on the path to where you want to be, and you gotta go through some uncomfortable. No, you know, you got to get uncomfortable,
right?
To get that word, you got to get uncomfortable to get to the other side. And that's what I walk through the steps myself, so I know. And I'm telling you, I don't care if you're shy. I don't care if you never wrote a book. I don't care if you never spoke on stage. I had never done any of those things. This is my first book. I have another one that I'm working on. It's pretty much finished. I just need to put it out. But yeah, it just goes on and on.
With your first book, do you market it outside of just when you go speaking and for your coaching clients, or do you have a full-blown marketing campaign for it?
I did not have a full-blown marketing. Well, what I did was I spoke, what was that? 2020 is so 2019, I was all over the place speaking and selling my book. I didn't even have a coaching program. I was just speaking and selling my book. That's when I realized I needed a coaching program, you know, because people wanted to work with you after that. When you get on stage and you're telling your story, they're going to vibe with your energy. They're going to vibe with different people at the event. You know, some people are going to like me. Some people are going to like the other person, you know, and, you know, people laugh. I used to tell my friend, she's a therapist. I'm like, you could not get me off the couch. Like, I need the straight, raw truth. Tell me what it is I need to do. Boom, 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 boom.
You need the gut punch. No big
words. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going like, let's put this plan in place and let's get it done. Right? That's my personality. You know, other people are attracted to other things, you know? So it just depends on if you resonate with my energy or somebody else's energy.
And it's a fact, it's always a fact that your vibe will attract your tribe. So you don't have to be somebody else. You don't have to be Oprah or Lisa or this one or that one. You are who you are authentically, and your vibe, who you are, that's who will be attracted to you.
Right.
That's
and the reason why it took me, you know, I inched into the coaching form was because I kept asking God, like, are you sure? Because now, you know, I'm straightforward. I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. But inside of me, I wanted to get that person to the result. He was like, nope, it's you. Yep, you on the right assignment, because I only want to do what I'm called to do. I don't want to
Right.
just be just because everybody else is doing it. No, I want to be in my lane, my tribe, helping who I'm supposed to help, who he sends me. Because literally, I can be in the grocery store, and next thing you know, somebody telling me their whole life story. It just that's
Exactly.
it.
Exactly. Well, it's your personality. You're open, you talk, like you said, you meet people where they are. People have a sense of trust when they meet you.
Yep.
So it just shows, it just comes out like that. What's next for you? Say you got a new book coming out. Are you ready to drop the title for that one or no?
I'm still working on the title. It's either going to be called Love and Money or Love and Abundance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's going to be amazing too. It's just like the other side of, okay, so now that you push through everything, now basically what is it that you want? So we got you through it, right? We're healed. We've grown. Now it's about reinventing yourself. Taking you from here to here, because that's literally when I say, and this is what people don't realize, because people just move on through life. You literally have to rebuild yourself from the inside out after all of these trials, because if you don't, the hiccups, the triggers are going to appear in your next marriage, your next relationship, your next job, your next. If you don't deal with it, you don't realize, you're like, okay, I'm good now because that job is over. I'm over here now. Yeah, but
you're the same person.
You're the same person. We've got to grow, and anybody that is around you, or they're telling you, I'm good with me. Everybody has something to learn. Everybody has something that they need to change about themselves to get to the next level. Right? Because I had all this stuff in me, but I had to grow into the next level. Yeah, Stephanie was good, right? I had healed from the divorce and but he had more. The next level.
Tell me this: when in your first book you talked about your divorce, and then too you said, and we had this conversation before. You want to share it with the people when you found your new husband, when you found your new love, and how that kind of was a balance. Talk about that.
Yeah, and it all goes down to your mate, and I teach a class on that. How your soulmate class, but you got to be the right person. Like this person that you see today wouldn't have happened with my previous husband, because he was the limelight. I was behind the scenes pushing him forward, right? So who I'm married to today, and didn't even know it at the time, right? But he was like, babe, do your thing, right? Go do you, but I married myself this time. And when I say I married myself, I am a giver. I also married a giver. My first marriage, we weren't both givers. So we're both trying to give to each other to make us go ahead and be the best.
Better. Right.
Yeah, to be better, to be the best version of ourselves. But again, I got married young. I got married 20. This time, I was 50 actually getting remarried. So it was a different thing that I was looking for. And that's what people have to understand. And they'll say to me a lot, well, Steph, I hear you, but I've dated all different types of guys. I'm like, but I promise you, even though they were different guys, there's something very unique about their personalities that you keep attaching yourself to. And you have not learned the lesson that is not the guy for you. I took time. I didn't want to have to go through this thing. Now, life can happen, but I gave it my best shot into picking a good partner for myself. You know what I mean?
Right.
And my husband was the same thing. It's like I took it very seriously. Like picking a mate is some serious stuff, and you have to really know yourself, and you have to really know what it is that you need this go round. Because what I needed at 20 was definitely different than what I was looking for at 45 when I got divorced, when I was back out in these streets. Now I was a single parent. Now the help that I was looking for was a little different than when I was 20, no kids, we were a power couple. You know what I mean? The power I was looking for in this relationship was totally different.
Was truly different.
Yeah.
This is good stuff. One thing that I want to ask you is, as it relates to the book, and because this is the format that, we're trying to also support our viewers that may be sitting on the fence and they don't know, like how to pull the trigger. and you've already shared with us like how you sat on that fence for a long
Yes.
time, and then
Yes.
when you picked it up and you just like boom, it's done, it's out. So what is some words of encouragement that you can give our viewers as to getting it done?
Words of encouragement. Again, you have to understand that everything that you've been through wasn't for you. When you get that, you know what I mean? Like, I think I made it about me before. Yeah, I was going to do it. I'm going to do it. You know, I'm going to get to it. But when I realized when my book really, and here's the thing, I thought my book was just for women.
Mm-hmm.
I have men coming to me because what happens is it's on their wife's table or it's on their sister's table. And it's like,
they're curious.
Yeah, and because the title.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he said, Steph, I'm a cracked egg. And I'm like, huh? He said, I'm a cracked egg too. So that's when I realized men as well, they go through, they have to rebuild themselves from the inside out. They have to want to be better men, a better person, just like us. Because I do believe that the ladies, we do more work than the men. Like, you know, they can just move on to the next relationship, you know what I mean? But nobody has tried to fix anything. And then their triggers start popping up.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody has told them anything about triggers. So this book is for everyone. You know, it's for everyone. And really and truly, moms, that we can help our daughters, you know, because everything that we do or who we are is from our past.
Yeah.
And we can help our daughters. You know what I mean? I just vowed to show my daughter something different. I said, okay, so you saw this. You saw me get left by your dad or walked out on, or however you want to say it. But now you're going to see me. You're going to see. Let me show you how this is done. You know what I'm saying? So because you don't know what their life is going to be, and I wanted her to be able to make it on her own or whatever it is that she, you know, just watch your mama is what I told her.
Just watch your mama. Well, on our closing note, I want you to leave them with your power word. Every author is leaving us a power word.
My power word, really and truly, is fearless.
Write that down, y'all. Fearless. Stephanie Queen, I appreciate you so much for coming on today. You know, as always, you can come back anytime. We chop it up. We're gonna do next book. And also, I got some information I'll be calling you about to share with you some more stuff. Guys, I hope that you have enjoyed today's talk, today's meeting these amazing authors. And Stephanie, you continue to be great. You have yourself a great day. Yes, thank you. Yes, her word is fearless. I want everybody to just kind of like soak it in. Take all this information that you received today. Please take action on it. The authors that have come through, they didn't just come through for them. They came through for you. It's like Stephanie just shared with us. You know, so you have to realize that you were here not by accident, by purpose. And what are you going to do with this information that has been given to you? Are you going to act on it? Are you going to activate your dreams? Or are you just going to keep them on the shelf? You know, are you going to believe? Are you going to start doing these rituals of affirmations? Are you going to take action? Are you going to move? We'll be moving again at 7:00 tonight. So I hope that you find your way back and tune in. We got a lineup of some amazing authors coming through. And we look forward to seeing you. Okay. I know I look forward to seeing you. Peace, love, and light. And I will see you at 7:00 right back here. Same spot. All right. I love you. And there's absolutely nothing you can do about it.
Hey y'all, it's me, Wanda D, the Motivational Queen, your accountability coach helping you get it done. What is it that you need to get done? I can help you get on the media and make more money. Get that exposure you're looking for. So come see me. Check me out all social media under Wanda D Hollis, yes, my government name. And you can also follow my website at IamEnough365.com. That's me, Wanda D, the Motivational Queen, and I look forward to seeing you soon.